Hello, everybody. This is Drop In, Drop Out, the weekly podcast where a mix of 7 gamers come together for an open and engaging conversation all about freaks.
There we go.
That's not the usual intro, is it? But
No,
this week it is. I am joined by a lovely panel today, and let's start with the loveliest of them all, the Dumpster Boy.
Woo! Baby!
How are you over there?
Jake, let me tell you, brother, I am sweaty. It is 30 degrees in the mountains of North Georgia, and I'm sweating, brother.
Oh, yeah. That's wild. That's wild. And the sweating will continue because we've got a lot of crazy things to talk about. In addition to the Dumpster Boy, we have Kayla doing camera adjustments on the fly. This is a wild. Things are already freaky in here. Kayla, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk about my fellow freaks that I got lined up. It's a great time to be live. Great time to be a gamer. Happy to be here.
I agree. And last but certainly not the least freaky, we have Patrick, aka P. Schwussy, still not in the hosting chair. Oh my God. Pull your shirt off and do the intro with your shirt off. That'd be so good.
Man.
So good. You should have committed and just went for it. There was best shown, audio listeners.
There was. You never know at any point because we're getting freaky. I might, and I'm a certified freak.
I would have loved if the intro played, and then during the intro where it's like we can't see the screen either. It is all just like the drop in, drop out thing happening. It comes back and Patrick is just
that's something. I'm gonna bring that back in about 40 episodes when we've all forgotten.
Yeah, about it. The freaky episode 2.
Yeah, it'll be tight.
Part 2.
It'll be tight, but I might have gotten in a good little scream right at the top of the intro music. We'll see.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. I stepped on your intro a little bit. You're doing well?
As well as anybody is. The world is crumbling.
In 2025. Right.
Who knows, right? But
so true.
I'm happy to be here with friends, both in the chat and virtually on camera. So it's a beautiful thing, Jake. It's the friendship that we all have. It's a beautiful thing.
I agree. And there's something special in the air today about this freaky day. I already see High Score Weekly is here. Poll Minds is here. Cognitive Clips is here, and so many more will be joining us in the near future. We love it. Honestly, a shout out to our community today. We always poll people in the Discord to contribute something every single time we are live. Usually the day before on Thursday or Wednesday night, we will say today's the freak episode. Let's see. What did I write this time? It's actually a pretty good intro, I felt. Whoever wrote this was really funny.
Cue laugh track.
That's so true. I'm hosting the podcast today. Submit to me the following: the weirdest games you love or have ever played. Do not take Pepsi Man. I am bringing Pepsi Man. The strangest characters in video games. Do not take Pepsi Man. I am bringing Pepsi Man. Or the oddest created character you've ever made. Bonus points if you can give me a screenshot of your freak. Do not take Rodney, my created character from Dragon's Dogma 2 that I wanted to make with extra large nipples, but there was no nipple or areola slider, so I had to make nipple-colored tattoos that served as his large nipples. I am bringing Rodney. And that was, yep, fair. Come to find out, that was our most replied to, poll for engagement that we've had so far. So we have a lot of people from the audience, listeners, and viewers that have submitted their favorite freaks. And this is the freak episode, of course. And that kind of sums up what we're getting into today. We're going to talk about the weirdest games we've ever played, the weirdest characters in normal video games, and of course, some of our creative character freaks. However, more on that soon because we're shaking things up a little bit. I want to do our regular housekeeping, but I wanted to experiment with something else. We have a really big new release week that is in full swing right now. We've had some very, very hot new releases. And I know at the end of the show, we always kind of do what we've been playing. And that section can kind of take a back seat to the main topic of like the evergreen topic of the show. But this week, there's just so much happening that I wanted to slide that in there ahead of time. So what we'll do is we'll talk about what's happening across the drop-in, drop-out umbrella. And then, of course, we will get to our favorite freaky games after we talk about a little 2-Point Museum. After we talk about a little, what else came out this week? Split Fiction. Yeah. And after we talk about a little
Clair Obscur. Expedition.
Clair Obscur. I should read the.
Well, it didn't come out, but we got hands on the sticks.
Hot off the press.
Some fucking show notes for this. I'm just kidding. That was my responsibility, and I have them. I just wasn't looking at them. Very good stuff. Very professional. I'm bringing those show notes up now, though, so we can talk about drop-in, dropouts, normal, platter of menu of offerings that we have for you. Of course, it's Thursday night, so you're here with us. On Mondays, we have JK Games, and on Tuesdays, we have Spotlight Games. I'm streaming a bunch of Split Fiction. Save Trash Cinema. You got an update for us on that? I've been seeing some STC content filling out lately. What's happening over there?
Oh, well, what's going on with the STC? God, don't put me on the spot like this. We have a little bit of a teaser coming out, I would say. I think it's next week. Can't really say much more than that yet. Don't want to say much more than that yet. But we're just going to ruin a lot of people's nights.
Yeah.
Here very soon. STC is going to make a surprise guest appearance here coming up. So if you guys have never seen or listened to, you would have never seen anything, because it never made it out, because you really don't want to watch a live video of me shit hammered.
Yes,
like it's blurbling my will through everything.
I do.
If you want to know, if you never saw like an audio version or listen to the audio version, you're going to see a live version happen for the first time ever with something coming up soon. Then that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do want to say, Jake, if I can hijack for a second,
of course,
Dumpster Boys Dumpster Dives coming back this Sunday for another. So if you missed the first Dumpster Boys Dumpster Dive, we're coming back this upcoming Sunday. It will be doing Vampire Hunters.
Nice.
This time around, another vampire game, but this time it's going to have as many guns as humanly possible on screen at one time. That's the crux of this game. So, bringing that back. But yeah, it's going to be a really exciting handful of days in the future. It's going to be wild.
I love it. Of course, there's a plethora of cognitive clips, video essays, typically about indie games or Metroidvanias that are coming out. And there is something kind of special happening on Mondays. Even though I led with JK Games, things are getting interesting. Kayla, you want to talk to us about any upcoming changes?
Yes, I'm so glad that you asked. I think this is our first official Dido announcement of another Kumbaya coming together of, drumroll, Clickerbait. Patrick is joining Jerica and I on Clickerbait, which is going to be coming on Monday nights for a temporary time in replacement of JK Games. Not to completely disregard that content, but Clickerbait, if you're unfamiliar, is a subgenre of JK Games. Jerica and I discovered that we both love talking The Last of Us, all things game and show. So we created Clickerbait to really analyze every episode as it came out of the HBO series, The Last of Us. The first season, when it came out, we dissected each episode. We also theorized beforehand. We even did a casting prediction, which is fun to look back on and think about. Now, obviously, we know the cast, by the time we didn't. So we're going to be doing the same with season 2. We're going to kind of analyze the episodes, compare them to what we know and love from the games. And we maybe have a guest star on every now and then for someone that has never played the game and get their commentary on the show. But we're happy to have Patrick with us. And what day is it that we're starting again, Patrick?
I think we have an asset to share.
Okay.
How about that? How about that?
Right. I guess
nice.
We might be spoiling something a little bit because I don't know if it's the active share, but we're going to find out together. Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, that's not a bad spoiler.
Oh, no.
Do you hear that? It's coming. Clickerbait is back for season 2. We're returning on March 24th to break down everything you need to know before The Last of Us season 2 premieres. New episodes, new theories, and a new host is joining the apocalypse. So mark your calendars because on March 24th, we're infected all over again. We gotta do it again, Joel. We gotta do it. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna do it again. That's me trying to be Tommy. PSA, no clickers were harmed in the making of this. The clicker's actually Jerica. If you didn't know, that's her.
Oh.
What's happening? Can you believe it? Jerica, unbelievable energy coming through that video. She whipped that up right before we went live. But
I don't know if you know this, but Jerica cannot do anything halfway, folks. That is absolute cinema. If you're listening to the podcast version, you got to check out the VOD and go take a look at our announcement. I'm sure it'll be up on socials as well, but I'm very excited to have Patrick join the fleet. Let's
Thanks
go.
for having me. I'm very excited myself.
Do you guys think that Jerica has the B-roll of her just sitting there making those sounds?
Yeah.
She must, right?
It's unbelievable.
It's very good. It's very
If we get 50 subs right now, we'll release
the Jarrett cut.
Ooh, the Jarrett cut is something.
Ooh, the
Someone
Jarrett
write that down.
Yeah, yep. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, as it turns out. Very, very nice. Awesome. Clickerbait, exciting times. So if you like to bait, whether you're a clicker or a master, you know where to be on March 24th.
Well, hey,
have a
here's
voice
an
made for
exciting
radio,
here's an exciting moment. We announced Clickerbait's coming back on March 24th, and we immediately get a sub from Diabro420. Is it
Diabro? What an icon. What an icon. And the chat has filled up in such a big way. I see Dan Goodshow is here now. Game over Cholo. We love to see it. We love to see it.
This was actually a gifted sub from High Score Weekly.
Oh, High Score Weekly making it happen.
You can check out.
Is also here. Oh, what a squad.
He was also a guest star on Monday's episode of JK Games, if you want to check that out.
That's right. Face reveal. Turns out, very handsome fellow.
Very handsome fella.
All right.
Who'd have thunk it?
Here's what's going on. Of course, this is the freak show, but we want to talk about our hot new releases, but I want to give you a little taste of the freaks. And what I did is I was able to compile a couple of we'll call them my freaks through history that I have made in character creators on stream. So I kind of wanted to bring you guys on a little virtual tour and introduce them to you. Now, we've already talked a bit about Rodney Rockman. I wanted to take you all on a visual tour of some of my nastiest created characters, some of the freakiest freaks I've ever made. Just a sample. I've got like 3 or 4 here. Rodney's already made an appearance or 2 on the show, but I pulled out some of my thumbnails. You'll also see a little retrospective on JakeTwitchin thumbnails and how far they've come. But this was from the character creator stream. I had a whole stream that was just character creator, where I made this baddie on the right whose name escapes me, and Rodney Rockman with the large nipples. They look like nipples, but they're actually 2 tattoos that act as his areolas. This is what we did for our Go Live. I edited the Dragon's Dogma artwork so that Rodney would be featured front and center. I think it's a pretty I think it's a pretty good look. Video VOD watchers, it's special.
I fucking hate this so much.
Yeah.
I hate Rodney Rockfield. What's his name? Rockman?
Rodney Rockman.
Rockman.
Rock band.
Walk me through everything, specifically the hips.
And why does this have Shadowheart's haircut?
Yeah, he does have Shadowheart's haircut. The thing about Rodney, when I created him, is I really love when you can. Capcom is great at it. They are so good at blowing like proportions out of the fucking water. Like you can have like the thinnest hips and then the largest glutes, and you can just make truly a hideous looking creature. And I really love like gigantic shoulders and a tiny head. More on that soon. But yeah, Rodney's proportions are absolutely out of fucking control. And he also, his eyes never open. I used to say,
are we talking about Jake here, or are we talking about Rodney?
That's just a good screen cap. I used to say about Rodney, his eyes never open, yet he sees everything.
Yeah.
He's also wearing some nice purple eyeshadow with Shadowheart's haircut. Jowls like you wouldn't believe. He appears to be both old and
Jake,
young.
Can you spin him back again?
Yeah, of course.
That is what I'm gonna look like in my casket.
Yeah.
Whole look.
It's
the
terrible.
Mustache, the jowls,
especially the
pink eyeliner. I will be shirtless in my casket. That is to my will.
Yeah. Icon, fashion icon, and really just truly.
Yeah. And even though there's no way in that game, I actually sacrificed my armor so that I could have my nipples exposed at all times. So I would only wear pants and gauntlets and helmets and stuff like that.
Also worth noting, the grandson worth topping GWG Mori is in the chat saying that he wants to suck on Rodney's nipples. So yeah,
understandable. They are extremely suckable. Let's look at some other created characters that I've made. So this was during the Street Fighter beta. Now the full character creator wasn't at my disposal, but I did what I could to describe this. This is just an extremely large large person. What you can't see is that they are large in their shoulders, in their chest, in their stomach, in their hips, in their thighs, but extremely small fists, feet, and head. The head is tiny laying on this, but
Yeah.
this is only a work in progress. We didn't even name this person. The real
Aw.
star of my Street Fighter 6 adventure was a man named the Centaur. And the Centaur is an equally creepy creep. And the Centaur, Senateur, he is a part centaur, part senator. He is a politician who is also half, I don't know, bull or cow or something like that. He's upright, but
Wow.
he also has terrible, disgusting features in a bright blue head with an extremely long wizard's beard. Same deal to a very, very small, tight stomach. However, his hips and his shoulders, massive. He's got that hourglass figure that most desire. Centaur has a whole
Absolutely,
story.
positively snatched.
Yeah,
Snatch
absolutely.
waist.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Last but certainly not least, in Sonic Forces, I made
Wow.
what could be considered quite possibly the worst looking
No.
Sonic creature that's ever existed, and he is completely nude at all times.
Yes.
There is nothing. He's also flesh colored. He's a bird with a large red beak, and then the entire rest of him. Tell the joke, you coward, in the chat. How do you know the difference between a Minotaur and a Centaur?
I know this. Oh, I know this.
Oh, the Centaur has a lower centaur of gravity. Let's go. Is Kayla frozen or is she stuck
Gagging
in?
to death.
Gooped
I believe my
and
Sonic
gagged.
character has defeated her.
She saw that nude body. Just
I think we
it's
might have a new
oblivion.
emote, chat. What do we think? What do we think? Centaur reaction. Centaur reaction. Kayla's processing that joke. So true. The last character that I wanted to show you, again, no name here for this character. This was created in the what was that EA game that's like Monster Hunter but not and didn't do very well?
Wild Hearts? Wild Hearts?
Wild Hearts is exactly correct. Yeah, this is a freaky little mustached woman with pink and purple hair. And what I really liked about this is that you could independently control the layout of the eyes. So one of those eyes is real droopy and the other one's real up there. And then the nose is just massive. I mean, is it a crazy situation going on? Truly something spectacular.
Truly.
And those are my freakos.
Wow.
Those are my freakos.
They're good freakos. Can I just say?
Some
Yeah.
sexy freaks on that list.
Yeah, you got a favorite?
Me personally, I definitely think the giant pepperoni nips on Rodney Rockman.
Yeah.
They
I get it.
are. There's a lot just going on here.
Yeah. I think what happened with that is that Dragon's Dogma didn't have a demo, but they put out their character creator early. So I was like,
Yeah.
there's a stream here.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, I could spend 2 hours in the character creator. Watch me. And did I ever? Did
Yeah.
I ever?
I was disturbed, so I left.
Whoa!
Oh, we know. We found a new emote. Your last reaction that you had to my Sonic character is
Wait,
really
was
spectacular.
it stuck on my
Yeah.
face?
Oh, yeah. Oh, was it ever?
Not
Oh,
again.
yeah, we have another emote. We have another emote.
New
It's all
emote
happening here,
unlocked.
baby.
Amazing.
Oh, she's unfrozen. She survived this time.
We love to see it. All right. I wanted to make sure.
Oh, she's coming back. She's
we
back.
had a little bit of time that we could spend talking about our freaks before we talked about our new segment that Patrick has named Hot Drop. He thinks Hot Drop is an
job,
excellent
Pat.
name for it.
Great
All right.
idea.
I came up with this on the fly today, and I think Hot Drop is a really good name. And Patrick was like, name pending.
Name pending.
But Hot Drop, the idea is when there's something that's exciting enough to talk about for a new release or a reaction, let's move it to the front of the show instead of sticking it at the back. Any sticking it in the back enjoyers? Possibly. I wanted to talk a lot about Clair Obscur, which I did on another show right in this podcast network, Spotlight Games Pod, available now by searching Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app or going to the Spotlight Games Pod Twitch or YouTube channel.
Squanky makes a great point. If Jake can sing a great theme song for Hot Drop right this second, he can keep the name. What you got?
We're hot, we drop, we got all the games. We're hot, we drop, you won't forget the names. It's Hot Drop, we're gonna hot drop the games for you.
Next week, we'll be debuting a new name for the segment, formerly known as Hot
Whoa, hold on a second. There's only
Fuck,
one
man.
person currently voting, and it was you. You have to open this up and option it to the entire group of Dido.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this, a dictatorship,
I'm not
Patrick?
much of a
With a
yes
K.
and guy, but I like to think I did okay there. Better than most would do.
Look,
We
We had
I
a
would do.
good reaction in the chat. Okay?
somebody has to bring the hard truths to the channel.
Yeah.
And it
I
was
understand.
okay. Are we? But here's my question: do we want our channel to be okay, or do we want our channel to be the fucking best, baby?
Dude, I've
Okay,
settled
yeah.
with okay for a long time, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got you this far.
That's
When
how
the
that's
game's
how
on
I'm
the
here
pod,
right now. I'm
Mod,
gonna prop
drop
it
it
up
like
like
it's
this.
hot.
Drop it like it's hot. And when the dumpster boy gets an attitude,
Drop him out of the podcast. I can't believe you didn't kick me out during that whole segment.
coulda.
Wow,
Clair
incredible.
Obscur, Expedition 33. I got to play it early. Shout out to Kepler and Sandfall for making that happen via Lurkit. Got accepted into that partner program, and they kind of shadow dropped a beta build for me to play early, and it is a solid chunk of the game. I'm about 2.5 hours into it right now, and I am blown away. For everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, this is of course French persona, as they say in the industry.
Yeah.
And it is a very traditional turn-based RPG that I could not be hotter on. A lot of people making Persona and Final Fantasy comparisons to like more modern stuff. There's a lot of like similar beats that you can see there. Very Final Fantasy 10 pilled. If you want really detailed drop information on this, go ahead and check out Spotlight Games, because I go into it for about good 10 minutes or so. But we'll have more on that as we get closer, and I should have my hands on that game early. So for a full review, keep on listening to Drop In Drop Out. But for right now, I still have another part of that build that I can stream, so you can find that on AmazingStreamer.com, JakeTwitchin on all platforms if you want to see some actual raw gameplay there of an early build of the game. But yeah, I was hot on this game going into it, and it is like my most anticipated thing in video games right now. All of a sudden, like I am
Wow.
over the moon about what I played about Expedition 30.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game.
Good reactions in the chat. People are also excited for this game, so I definitely will be tuning in to see what you think, because I'm curious about it, but I don't know. I'm not super into JRPGs, and like the Persona games are not something that I've ever really dove a lot of time into. So I'm curious to see how this would be for me.
I'm with you, Kayla. I have never jumped into Persona and have it click the way that it seems to click for so many people. And this, I think the scope of this game is what appeals to me. Like I don't have 120 hours for Persona, but I do have 30 some odd hours, presumably, for, the somewhat cheaper and easier version of a game like this. But
Sure.
yeah, it speaks to me on very many levels. I'm red hot on it. Red hot.
Hell yeah. I can't wait.
Kayla, you are much more interested in a game like 2 Point Museum. Talk to us.
Yes, absolutely I am. We actually just came off of streaming this game also on Spotlight Games with myself, Patrick, and Rose on that channel. If you want to go see some gameplay, some early gameplay of kind of figuring out the mechanics, watching how everything looks. 2 Point Studios is a developer that I have loved for many years. They have two other games, 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus, which are both phenomenal. 2 Point Hospital, their first game came out in 2018. 2 Point Campus came out about 2022. I think you can play at least Campus on Game Pass, I believe, question mark.
You could. I don't know that you still can. I'll check.
Okay. It might be removed. So either way, it's worth every penny. I believe they're typically around $20 to $30 brand new. So that one might be on sale. This one actually came out just 2 days ago, and I've already sunk many an hour into it. It is if you're unfamiliar, it's like a simulation casual strategy game. So you can, not super high stakes, not super crunch mode. You can make it that way if you'd like, because you can change the speed at which you're working. You can either go at a slow pace, you can pause the game and make changes while you're paused, or you can fast forward if you so choose. But essentially what this one gives you is you're building your own museum. You kind of inherit, of course, very classic sim start where you're like, oh, there's a rundown museum. You got to make it new. You got to make it fresh. So you take it and you're kind of building it out. But as you expand through, not really the story, because there's not a story, but there is a campaign, if you will. So you're having to make certain objectives to get to the new type of museum. I hear there's some really interesting different types of museums as you go along that you can edit. There's a haunted, I believe it's a haunted museum. There's like a ghost version, which is right up my alley if you know me at all. But this one really, you're setting different exhibits. You have to go on expeditions to collect different pieces. There's a lot of strategy involved. You have to bring certain things along with you. Your employees have to be at certain levels to get certain achievements. Overall, I'm having a great time. I think this developer continues to improve upon the mechanics, the UI, visuals, the gameplay loop every single time that they make a game. And this one is just really like the cherry on top. The visuals are great. Me and Patrick were playing and we were like, is that ray tracing of the reflection on the floor of this 2-point studio? Which this game kind of ties into our main topic a little bit, because these characters are bugging. They are bugging.
Yeah. Absolute fucking freaks. Well, they'll have the little reflection of the cheesy Gubbins machine, and you'll zoom in on their face, and they look fucking wild.
Yes, they do. But I love the style of these characters. I know, like, it may not be for everyone. They almost look like claymation, think Wallace and Gromit, like style characters. But in a digital format. And then the names are always bonkers too. Like what was one of the names, Patrick, we had? What was it?
Dickie Fromage was one that I kept remembering.
Yes. And then we had like perfect. We got that.
We had Ronald Corruption. Ronald Corruption was a good one.
Yes, absolutely. And you can get pretty like sucked into this. The gameplay loop, it really, Patrick described it perfectly when we were streaming. It's, let me do this one more thing before I stop. Let me do one more thing before I stop. And then it just keeps piling on. Jake, I know you played this game too. What did you think?
I was so red hot on this. This scratches a part of my brain that I didn't know itched. It blew my mind. I was a roller coaster tycoon kid, but lately I just love my slop in a bowl when it comes to like my video game preferences. But there was something that awakened in me during my 2-point museum stream, and I got it for the freaks, as you can imagine, to keep things on topic. And I actually wanted to pick your brain a little bit on that, because I got it because when you pre-order the game, you get Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Tails costumes. The characters don't really look like them. It looks like employees wearing costumes that are inspired by these characters, which is so cursed and so funny. So I had like Sonic the Hedgehog is all of my janitors, so every time I need my janitor, I can like immediately go look at Sonic the Hedgehog and make that happen, which is really satisfying. And it got into this whole thing because I bought it for Xbox because I have it down here, and I was like, that makes sense for me. And then as I was playing it, I was like, oh my god, this is such a computer game. Like, I wish I had this on PC. I wish that I was like clicking around and I had my mouse at my disposal. So I was thinking about ditching Xbox and moving to Steam and doing it on there. And then I realized that if I did that, I wouldn't have the Sonic uniforms. And for me, I would rather use a controller in Sonic than use a keyboard and mouse without Sonic. I need to have my little freakos. But
that's valid.
Can you explain, because I was watching your stream last night and you had the same thing happen to you. At one point the other day, I was looking at my exhibits and I was seeing a very nice family playing on a interactive, exhibit, I guess. It was like a slide, a dinosaur slide. And they were a family of Sasquatches, it seemed. What was that? What were those freaks doing?
I think
we don't call them Sasquatches anymore.
Right,
I'm sorry.
That's a derogatory term. But thank you.
That's my bad.
I don't know what the right term is, but
they're squanky joinkers now.
Right. Yes.
The squankers. Yeah.
Yes, of course. No, I think that actually Patrick was showing his screen. And I believe that was a part of the Explorer pack, which you could buy at purchase. That gave your guest some different costumes. But I'll be real with you, at various different points throughout these games, random freaks will show up. Like, there will be some weirdos that come in. And that's one of the things I love, is the quirky charm of these games is persistent throughout all of the games themselves. But I believe the Yetis, I think that's the correct term. were a part of the Explorer pack that Patrick purchased alongside. Is Patrick frozen?
Yeah, Patrick's frozen, but we carry on. Enough editing in this. Enough editing in this damn podcast. Am I right?
Yeah,
He'll drop out of the
exactly.
call momentarily, and we'll go down to probably a 3 layout if I were to get. But no big deal.
Oh, actually,
that's
let's
not- that's-
highlight.
Oh, no,
Anybody that's
where's
watching
a
this right
better
now,
layout?
don't worry about it. Everything is fine. We'll take Patrick.
Actually,
All
just
right.
go listen to the podcast version. I'm just kidding.
Everything's great here. Don't worry.
There we go.
Oh my God.
That's
That's
a
something.
layout.
That's something. But yeah, that's my experience with 2 Point Museum so far. I see myself spending much more time playing this game.
Yeah.
100%.
2 Point Museum rules, dude. It is
Yep.
it is so much fun, and I will continue doing it for a very long time.
Yep,
We love it.
absolutely.
We absolutely love it. Very cool.
So,
Well,
yeah.
who else has
Exciting,
got
guys.
something while we wait on Patrick?
So we can talk
I think
about
we just keep moving.
Oh,
He's back.
Look who's
Oh, he's back.
here.
Fucking Christ. That scared
Don't
the shit out
worry.
of me. I got blue screened. It was like, we're sorry, your computer fucking blows.
Oh, lovely.
The
was
good
a
news is
really
that
good
we
remix,
weren't weird
though.
about it at all, and you missed out on nothing tech support wise, and you don't need to edit that.
I was listening the whole time.
You should probably edit that.
I heard what you guys said. 3644. 3644.
Anyways,
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
now that everyone's here, yeah, 2 points really good.
It's so good.
Also, you know what
yeah.
else? Oh, go ahead.
I was
No.
just gonna say I am super in on it, and I've watched Rose play like 1,000 hours of 2 Point Campus, and now hands on sticks, I fucking get it, and
Yeah.
I plan on playing a lot more of this game.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I am
mhm.
in the same boat where like I'm in a weird situation. You guys might not know this, but I'm actually down in Florida on vacation, staying in my parents' guest bedroom.
Mhm,
And I have been in a weird spot for like individual, like personal gaming, which is a weird thing as a streamer anyway. And I'm busier with the podcast and stuff like that. Like my relationship with playing games alone is much different than it was, where like story-based games are usually saved for stream. And when I'm playing games offline, it's usually slop. I'm playing like League of Legends or Fortnite or Apex or, you know, who knows what little like free to play daily quest grindy thing that I have found lately that's, you know, tickling my fancy. But there is something about 2 Point that makes me, when I'm like not tired at 3 a.m, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I could go boot this fucker up right now and melt hours away until I
Yeah.
just have to close my eyes. So I'm very happy to have that game installed on one of my consoles down here.
Hell yeah.
Very, very dope.
Perfect.
So
glad.
Segue, speaking of games, I'm very happy to have installed on my consoles. Split Fiction.
Hey.
Anybody else get time with this today? Because it did release approximately 9 hours ago.
I didn't know.
That's all you, brother.
So unfortunately, Jake, some of us, we have these things called real people jobs.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And
I
then
forget.
some of us have to be on these things called podcasts,
Oh,
which is
Mm.
taking up what little free time I have from playing. Split
Right.
Fiction.
If you want to fucking quit, Cayman.
We want to wrap this up. I want to go play Split Fiction.
Listen,
Right.
we're an hour in and we've barely talked about the freaks. We got a lot to do. The good news is that there's a little bit of freakiness going on in Split Fiction.
Yeah.
I'm still early. I got about 3 hours into the game today, and I played it with Shay_Noel, friend of the show. At this point,
Mhm.
I've called her friend of the show for my Twitch stream for a long time, but that's not really a show. Now we actually have a show, and she is a friend of it. So we streamed that together, and it was a blast. It Takes Two, but somehow Game of the Year It Takes Two 2021, somehow even better. It is surprisingly different in its pacing, where I feel like It Takes Two is very like small level, new gimmick introduced, continue onto the next level, a new gimmick introduced. In the time that I played Split Fiction, if it was It Takes Two, I would have had 3 different gimmicks. And in Split Fiction, I only had one gimmick for pretty much the entire time that I was playing, where one person had a sword and one person had like a whip grappling type situation. And there was so much variety in this area, where there would be times where our screens were split, times that we were riding bikes and combining the weapons that we had with that, times where it would turn into a 2D side score or a top down like isometric
Ooh.
view game. It was spectacular, and everything felt really, really tight. And I remember thinking about that for like It Takes Two as well, where when I played It Takes Two and you do that double jump for the first time, you're like, oh, this is nice. This is almost like the Mario levels of shine as far as like control of your individual character goes. And that is very much back in Split Fiction, but there's something about it that feels almost a little bit more third person actiony than it does platformer in some ways. Like your character, just like their stature, they're not so much like a little like doll figure anymore. They're more of a realistic looking woman. And the double jumps that you do and the animations that you have all just feel really, really tight, very satisfying to play. And I think it's just another easy layup for Hazelight and Joseph Ferris. Like, strong recommendation right off the bat. Find somebody that you can tolerate spending 15 hours with and hop in.
I have a couple questions for you from
Sure.
the gallery. I've been listening to some thoughts today on the game. Both I was, watching you and Shay stream and checking in with some other folks. And something that I'm hearing from a lot of people, but not you, so I'm interested on your thoughts, is this idea that like you said, huge step up compared to It Takes Two on the gameplay level, but like so far pretty noticeable step down on the narrative and the writing side, where like this might be like a 10 out of 10 gameplay, but like 5 out of 10 in terms of story, narrative, dialogue, that kind of thing. Where are you at on that? 3 hours in, it's not a lot. Well, I mean, it's like 24,
I guess.
percent.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think the story for this is very like within 10 minutes, you're like, oh, I see where this. Like everybody clocked it in my chat. They were like, oh, that's the bad guy. Like, oh, it's a commentary on blank. No spoilers or anything like that. But I think they're probably pretty correct on that. And I think one of the things that was like almost a little bit like alarming or like a point of contention or at very least a conversation for It Takes Two was that like there was a lot of story. It was like kind of a weird commentary on like divorce and relationships and how hard it is to work together and raise a child and make a family. And there was kind of a lot of it. And then there were also like moments that were really disturbing in that game that people would talk about. And I think they just kind of like pumped the brakes on it for this one, which I think like going gameplay first and like spending their time and their resources on that is the right move. I mean, there's probably been like in the 3 hours that I played, maybe 10 minutes of cutscene, and it's been fine. It's been serviceable, but it's not what I'm here for. It's that gameplay variety that I'm more interested in.
I think it was Tim on Kind of Funny, their review, that was like, I would love to see them just do essentially like a 3D Mario level story.
Sure.
Barely enough where there's like a little dialogue and just give me fun shit to do. And I'm super interested to get hands on sticks to see if because I always felt like, I still haven't actually finished It Takes Two, but I always felt like the story was pretty weak in that game too.
Yeah. Well, there's less of it is the thing. And that I think that the story is probably no stronger, but I don't know. The Dr. Hakim like book thing, I don't know if that worked for some people and didn't for others, but like there's none of that here. There is no point where anything is like as potentially grating or potentially entertaining. Like that there's no divisive like crazy over the top character that's eating up screen time and delivering quippy lines or anything like that. I don't think the game is trying to be exceptionally funny in its writing or story. It finds that in its gameplay moments. Like I have laughed more at the wild things. Like, do we want spoilers for the first 3 hours of this game, or do I leave that off the table?
We can vote. I'm fine with it.
That's okay with me.
Cayman, I know you're about to go play it. Do you?
Cayman, a no is enough. You can veto it. You should see this guy leaning back in his chair like a mob boss with the amount of control he has right now.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the audience by saying no.
Let's not spoil it, but there are opportunities. There are cool and wacky things that happen in the It Takes Two nature. So It Takes Two had a lot of sections where they would have like a little diversion where you would go and you would play like tic-tac-toe or do like the hammer mini game, or eventually you would get as big as like playing chess against somebody. And those, I've only really stumbled onto one of those things so far, and it wasn't very involved, nor was it competitive. However, they have these like dimensional rifts that they have put into the game where you will find them and they'll kind of commentate on it, where it's like very much like, hey, we can either continue on the main path or we can check out one of those side stories. When you go into the side story, it's another piece of fiction that is a completely separate story from what you're doing, and you inhabit two brand new, or your characters inhabit two brand new like bodies or
Oh,
characters,
that's cool.
and the gameplay changes in that way. And that is a much more involved thing. So it was like this half-hour extra level that was very self-contained and very unique. And honestly, like probably the highlight of those opening 3 hours. But that was a good way to spice things up where It Takes Two had kind of like a status quo of you just playing those characters and getting different power-ups. This was a way wilder thing than anything happened in It Takes Two. Happens during one of those side stories in the opening hours of Split Fiction. Yeah. Very cool.
Great
stuff.
early review. I'm so excited.
We will
Highly recommended.
most likely be streaming that on Dido's channel this Saturday,
Yeah.
but we're figuring out some things. We'll keep you posted.
We're
For sure.
workshopping. We're workshopping.
Very good. Very good. Enough about all these normal ass games. Am I right? I'm just kidding. We have one more thing to talk about. With all of those things that we have been digging into and all these new games that have released, we have some updates to our fantasy critic setup.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If you missed it, our episode, our first ever bonus drop was the 7 of our drop-in, drop-out cast members. What do we call
Sure.
ourselves?
Droppers.
Cast members, droppers, strippers, droplings,
Mm,
droplets.
mm.
The people that work here.
The people that work here.
The people that work here, making our fantasy game developer publisher teams. And Patrick has gone through painstakingly to give us an update on the standings.
Yeah, well, this will be short because we got some freaks to talk about, but I figured we should at least do a quick check-in. A lot of games have already come out since we did the draft, and there have been all sorts of games added. We're not going to do like a full breakdown, but I at least want to give like a little update on the standings. So some of us haven't had any games released, but a few of us have. So right now, the reason I thought of this, Kayla's own Split Fiction brought in 20 points today. So Kayla chilling with 40 points. She got 20 from Split Fiction, 14 from 2 Point Museum, and 6 from Lost Records Blue and Rage, which, as a really quick side thing, very interested to see if Tape 2 changes those numbers at all. And makes it go up potentially. I don't know. And then right ahead of her is Jerica with 42 points. She has 20 points from Monster Hunter Wilds and then 11 from both Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and Avowed. I think I'm potentially in third. Yeah, I'm in third with 20 points. All 20 from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So
wow,
feeling it like a good dumpster boy right there with just like 20 points out the jump from my first game, making me feel nice and spicy. And then JakeTwitchin Interactive, JakeTwitchin out of 10 Interactive, chilling with the only other person with points and only 9 of them from his first pick.
No, dude.
Civ 7, tough.
Yeah, tough break on the worst reviewed Civilization game ever created.
Yeah, but within the next month, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more games released. Kayla has Wanderstop in a few days.
Let's go.
Shuhei Special Boy later this month with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Jake 2 also getting Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Another Shuhei joint, Atom Fall for the Dumpster Boy, and then I'll be getting South of Midnight in just about a month. So we have we'll check in again in April and see where we're landing. But it seems like Kayla's gonna be swinging some hands here.
Yeah,
already got more points than I did all of last year, folks. Let's go.
You guys are better watch out. This is gonna be the make or break month for me. If Atom Fall does worse than 15 points, I'm pretty sure my season's over. And I'm taking a big risk here on this game because it's been very quiet around it. We'll see.
Yeah.
It looks really
good, nice reveal trailer, man.
Yeah, it looks really cool and
what's
everything
that
we've seen, but it's and then Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Realistically, how many points
starting
do you think
to get cold
Shadows? Yeah.
I think I will be. I think it's going to score somewhere in the low to mid 80s.
Sure.
I'm thinking like 80. I think if I can walk away with 13 points off of it, I'll feel good.
Sure.
Because I kind of picked it up under the guys at 13 points was a good get at that round. Atom Fall is one that could either net me like 20 points or net me like negative points. So
I feel like you might land in that like 8 to 9 range with Atom Fall as like a third option potentially. But I don't know. I think it looks really good. I could also see like a 15 spot from Atom Fall because we haven't got a good Fallout type game in a while.
True.
So we'll
We
see.
shall see.
And hey,
And that's
a little
the update.
like a segue from the update into a preview for not next week, but the week after. Some early access and some big coverage coming courtesy of Drop In, Drop Out for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So look forward to that being covered in a pretty big way here on the channel. Multiple people will have hands on that game before the street date, and there will be assorted content that week. I would say look forward to a stream from somebody. Definitely mentions of it on probably both Spotlight Games and Drop In, Drop Out, time permitting. As far as like, I don't know where we spend most of our time. I'm not sure which show that will be on. Depends on how many people we can get to talk about it at the time. But lots of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
If my schedule allows, because we on Tuesday, Cayman and I discussed how apparently the main quest for Shadows is only going to be 30 to 40 hours. I'm kind of in this space of like, could I stream the whole game potentially?
Ooh,
We'll see.
Yeah,
Who
I get
knows?
it. I was Ubisoft hooked me up with a early copy of Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I tried during that time. It was 2 years ago at this point to like, oh, let me capitalize on that extra like 2 days that I have with that game and get into it. And I streamed for like 12 hours, and I was like, well, I might as well just full play through that game because it's only like 20 hours, 25 hours long. I did, and it was awesome. Like I had such a fun time cranking through the last Assassin's Creed that came out. And I know that Shadows is probably going to be bigger than Mirage because Mirage's whole thing was like size and scope, and it was very absorbable, and that was the idea. And Mirage ended up being my favorite Assassin's Creed in a very long time. So I got high hopes here, but that's neither here nor there. That's a 2 weeks from now thing. Let's talk about some fucking freaks, man. My first topic for freaks is the weirdest games that you love. I want to toss this immediately over at the top of the show. If you remember, the freakiest boy boy on the cast is here tonight. Dumpster Boy, tell me about the freakiest game you love.
Freakiest game I love. Okay, this is gonna get me probably canceled.
Oh no!
So
Out the gate.
I hope you're ready for this. One Chanbara. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I do.
I got a soft spot for One Chanbara.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I need some new
man.
seats.
Don't
You
worry.
can
I've got
say
some
if
good
you want
stuff.
right now. I will. Hold on. You know what? This whole episode has been a fucking train wreck so
Yeah.
far.
And,
Watch
oh,
it.
God. it has.
Yeah, yo, go ahead and grab it, dude. This is the freak episode. It's the freak edit.
Look at him.
Just want to point briefly out. This is my DVD copy of One Chanbara,
Oh,
the
perfect.
Bikini Samurai Squad. So,
Oh, yeah.
so yes, I not only enjoy the games, but I've got the movie
Oh,
as well.
Whoa.
Okay. Here's the thing. This game is exactly what you want it to be. It's a bunch of bikini babes that are just chopping up zombies, and it is hyper gory with crazy
Wow.
jiggle physics. And you know, here's the thing: you wanted the freak show, you got the freak show.
You came to the right place.
Oh my gosh.
Cayman, this might make you
Yes.
laugh. When you showed me the box art, I was like, wait, I know this game. A few weeks ago, I got into this weird obsession for like 25 minutes of just doing as many of the little PlayStation Stars checks as I could of like download and play Mr. Mosquito. And so I just like downloaded it, started it, and then just like erased it or whatever. And at the time I was going through and I accidentally, because it was free, but I clicked on this game because I was going so fast clicking around and I downloaded it. And so now One Chanbara is in my library and I had no fucking clue what this game was. But now I own a copy in my PlayStation library. So I might be downloading this.
It's a hack. So it's really apropos to start off Dumpster Boy's Dumpster Dive streams with Nunholy, where it's just busty busty nuns, excuse me.
Yeah.
International Women's Month. The fuck.
The Busty Broads is fine.
We fucked up,
Bring it back.
guys.
Thank you, Jake, for telling him that Bussy Bros is
The voice of women, JakeTwitchin.
The voice of women, JakeTwitchin. So you know, look, if you want a good hack and slash game, it's a great hack and slash game, and it is very Japanese.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
What a great
IGN for the
start.
B-roll. Hard-coded watermark. Let's go.
Wow.
Digital preservation at its finest.
Incredible.
Very nice first pick.
Thank you.
Very
thank you.
nice first pick.
Beautiful.
Don't worry,
Kayla.
I'm gonna ruin it even more with the second pick.
Oh God, I'm so excited. Kayla, talk to me about the freakiest game you love.
Well, here's the thing, JakeTwitchin. I'm notorious for liking very obscure games. And I was trying to think through, like, maybe my view of weird is just skewed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, my baseline is strange. But I think starting my list off with a classic, let's get some pull up for bug snacks in the
Whoa.
stream.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some bug snacks.
Talk
Bug
about
snacks is
bug
an
Good pick.
incredible
Little
game,
freaks.
may I add. The characters overall are just so weird, and the dialogue is weird. Some of the story overall, like, look at this art. Like, it almost looks like a 2000s like imagery, but this came out in 2020 or 2021. Did any of you play Bug Snacks?
Very
Yes.
briefly.
Yes.
You are these different animals, but also, like, there's fruit involved too. Like, look at this burger fry combination, and part of the gameplay is combining these different creatures into, like, whatever you need them to be. You eat some of the characters, which is interesting. But look at this guy. He just ate this.
That's a freak.
Murder.
But this game, like, the story is actually very wholesome, that you're walking through, and a lot of the character interactions are great. Octodad, you got Elizabeth Eggsbeth is one of the characters' names.
Sure.
But anyways, you can also edit your character to have, like, different fruit appendages. It's a great time. This game is a freak game, but in the best way. I think you can still it's very affordable to purchase. I played it on PlayStation right when the PlayStation 5 came out. It was a launch title for PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, freak game.
Hell yeah.
It was so
Love to see
wholesome.
it.
Excellent pick.
Kayla.
Very wholesome. Yeah. Some lovers in the chat, High Score Weekly, Bug Snacks mentioned. And then Big Freakin' said, my exclamation point kid, cog reference, has been playing Bug Snacks and loving it. Yeah, super creative game, and it is very, like, user friendly. The mechanics are not hard to adopt. Very ease of entry. So
Yeah, that game for some reason comes up a lot. I feel like in random conversations, and there's always somebody in my chat that's, like, super passionate about Bug Snacks. Like, Bug Snacks was one of the best games of the last few years.
incredible.
And I think you made a really good point about, like, that just feels like a, like, GameCube game, like a game that snuck out of, like, 2004 and then somehow just came out in, like, 2020.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
agree.
wild. Yeah, very
Agree.
nice. Patrick, talk to me about the freakiest games you love.
This one was a little tough for me to think of because I feel like a lot of the games that I played as a kid, I didn't play a lot of freaky games as a kid, partially because I was the youngest. So it wasn't often that I was choosing the games. Not to say that I never did, but so whenever I had an option, it's like, oh, I want Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or something like that.
Mhm.
But a game, this might be an easy one. This might be like an obvious one, but it was the first one I thought of. And not because of characters, because of the game itself. Eternal Darkness on the game.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, kind of a big part of the game is trying to just, like, fuck with you.
Mhm.
A lot of it's like breaking the fourth wall. A lot of it's like trying to confuse the player. I remember that being one of the first games that I played of, like, being uncomfortable, not knowing what might happen next. And also it was so hard too, but there's, like, this weird card mechanic in it. It's very, like, Resident Evil adjacent, but a little more, like, freaky than Resident Evil. But yeah, Eternal Darkness was the first thing that I thought of with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Resident Evil can be freaky.
Can I just say that so far, and God knows what Jake's gonna do, but we've got, like, physically freaky with Bug Snacks and aesthetically freaky with Eternal Darkness and sexually freaky with, like, we're really checking all boxes on the freak scale.
We are.
Jake,
We are.
what freaky thing did you bring to see?
Oh no.
Oh baby.
How did you read the assignment?
I'm going gameplay. I'm going everything freaky for
Everything.
one of my favorite franchises of all time. WarioWare, baby. The freakiest as it gets. I love WarioWare. And this is one of, like, I talked about this. So a couple years ago, probably at this point, maybe a year and a half ago, they put the very first WarioWare for Game Boy Advance on the digital like platforms, and I did a full playthrough of the game, and it is one of the best standalone streams that I've ever done. And I talked about WarioWare being, it just came out at a time, it was like 2003, so I was like maybe a freshman in high school, sophomore. I know I'm very old, but it was at that time where I was trying to be kind of cool, but also I didn't care that much. So I was like secretly playing WarioWare and then like being social and going out to parties and stuff like that. And then I'd come home and play my little gremlin video games. And I was just like, I got no one to talk to about this. Like I should make some friends on the internet. And that's what WarioWare is to me. Is it's the first time where I was like, okay, I'm weirder than the normal bunch. I'm more of a freak than the freaks around me, I think. And WarioWare has just stuck with me. I really love the original Game Boy Advance game. My favorite is WarioWare Twisted, which is a freaky video game in itself because it has the accelerometer for the Game Boy Advance where you have to twist it around and like drive and turn it up all like upside down. It's absolutely insane. WarioWare Touched for the DS was really cool and a great use of the stylus back then, all the way up to like WarioWare Smooth Moves and WarioWare Gold for the 3DS. There's so much to love about this franchise. I adore Wario and I adore WarioWare so much.
I've never played a WarioWare game. I've always wanted to.
Oh my god, we need to be in the same room. WarioWare for the GameCube is such a great multiplayer game. If I could only play one multiplayer game for GameCube with everybody, a lot of people would be like, oh, it should be Smash Brothers Melee, it should be Mario Party 4, it should be Mario Kart Double Dash. I think everybody's wrong. And it should be WarioWare Mega Micro Games, or I think there's a weird name for it. It's basically like a retooled version of the Game Boy Advance original, but with more stuff and multiplayer added into it. It's so fucking good. It is so good, and it's so wacky, and it's so fun. And it's one of those games where it has a bunch of standalone micro games, but just like depending on the group that you have, you can just get hyper fixated on a single game, and it just becomes your entire night. It's just like round robin tournament of all of us playing Fly Swatter against each other, getting like the high score. It's so fun.
I still have my Wii.
It could be a great Parsec game too, I bet, if we were to do like a digital stream where we all kind of tapped into one thing.
Sure. If we can get a physical copy, I still have my Wii. Just saying.
Oh, I love that. We can definitely get a physical copy. It can be done. Big eBay boy. The one thing I wanted to talk about, like a freaky thing about Patrick's game real quick, just to put it on. Do you know the story of Silicon Knights and like the games that they made and how they went under?
A little bit, but I still want to hear you talk about it.
So it's like Dennis Dyack, who is like a very intriguing developer, but they had such a hot streak and then such a terrible burnout where the order of the last 4 games that they made were like, it was such a crazy trajectory. It was Eternal Darkness, GameCube, I think a launch game or very close to it, and very early GameCube game. Then the 2004 remake of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes was them, which is a
great
crazy drop. The next game they put out is Too Human, the planned trilogy for the Xbox 360, which is an absolute nightmare of a video game, which I adore and will be streaming at some point. Great freaky game. And then their last game that they make that was so bad that it put them under is a game that I streamed just last year, X-Men Destiny, which was like the 2011 or 2013 RPG third-person action game where you were supposed to be able to create a brand new X-Men. That game is so fucking funny and bad and fun to stream in like 8 hours long. I can't recommend enough playing X-Men Destiny. It rules.
I bought X-Men Destiny when it came out because I'm a little X-Men freak.
Me too. X-Men Legends stream when?
Literally fucking whenever.
Yeah,
I'll do it right after this podcast.
I'm so down. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Listen,
can I bring another weird one?
Yeah, I would love you to.
Has anybody ever heard of a game? It's a Freako pick. Hidden My Game by Mom. Has anybody ever heard of this?
No.
What?
So I play this on the iPhone. It's like a Find the Thing game. It's been retranslated now to Mom Hid My Game, but it's a fucking hilarious game where each level is like this little it's like an escape room kind of, and you're trying to find
I love those games.
DS.
I was really into them when I was a kid.
But I can't remember any like specific examples, but it's just the most like whoever made this, it was just a fucking bit. Jake, you might need to search "Mom hid my game" instead of "hidden my game" by Mom.
High Score Weekly's a knower in chat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like these really Ooh. It's these really weird puzzles where like, so this is the art of any of the different rooms, and it'll be like your DS is hidden, I don't know, inside a fucking chicken, and you got to figure out how to open up the chicken. I'm making that example up, but it's just like really weird things that you would never think of, and it's a very funny game to play through, and it's probably only like an hour, I bet, to get through it, but really fucking weird game.
I want to play this right now.
Oh, that's right.
So
High Score Weekly just reminded me of a big feature of the game. Is that you'll see it here. Mom is hiding behind the curtain, so if you pull back the curtain, you lose because Mom finds you looking for your game. That's right. That's like a really big part of it that I forgot about.
That's so funny.
It's so crazy. It's a great game.
Wow.
Hitting my game by Mom also with the mistranslated title goes incredibly fucking hard.
Yeah, it's great.
Amazing.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Hold
Dumpster
on.
Boy.
Gonna throw one out there. Question for you guys. Which one do you want? Do you want, because apparently I misread the assignment. Do you want a sports related freaky game? Sports and sexual freak off? Or do you want like do you want a God of War clone freak off?
I mean, if you're giving me the option to choose between
I want
something sexual and not.
Sexual
Well,
first.
I'll be quick on the first one, be long on the second one.
Ooh.
First one is Dante's Inferno.
Oh yeah. For sure.
No one expected or told me that all of a sudden at the end of the game I would have to fight Satan's giant penis.
Oh wait, is this real?
Yeah. It's got a horse bottom half and anatomically sized proportionately.
Interesting.
So if you never played, look, here's the thing: if there's one game that I'd beat the fucking door down to get a remake of, it's Dante's Inferno. This was the best God of War clone that I think came out during that time period, and we're going crazy again. You ready for this? Sliding across the fucking room.
I love the level of effort that Cayman is giving to this episode. It really warms my heart.
Back. Look at this. Bada bing, bada boom.
There it is.
They made a fucking anime movie with like 7 different directors, like the Batman Knight movie. If you haven't seen the animated Dante's Inferno movie based off the video game, incredible.
Wow.
So there's that. The one I want to talk about. Do you guys remember what was it called? Rumble Roses.
Oh yeah.
I'm unfamiliar, but I would like to be a knower.
There's 2 of them, if I recall correctly.
Oh no. Wait.
Rumble
No,
Roses?
my audio's back.
No! That's the spirit of the
everything's
Lord
fine.
trying to keep us
The
in check.
technical issues are just trying to find
this
all of
episode's
us.
been fucking wild.
This is the freaky episode. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
So
Anything
this was a
goes.
game that I wasn't allowed to like. This was a game I had to hide so that like my parents wouldn't find it. I got it from a kid at school. Kid at school gave it to me, and it's just Jiggle Physics, the wrestling game.
Incredible.
So
It's so good.
Is that the name?
Oh,
it's the
Jiggle
Rose
Physics.
game. That's right.
Oh,
Okay.
Rumble Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a
It
second
came out
one
on
for Xbox 360 too.
What?
Yeah.
There was a sequel.
Yeah. It's like 60 or 70 bucks still, and I really want to get it.
Damn. So it's like I'm trying to remember who was the people who made it. I think it was Ukes, who at the time was making like I think Ukes at the time was making the SmackDown versus Raw video game.
Oh yeah.
So like it has
Ukes is correct. Yeah.
It has good wrestling in it. Like the fundamentals is good wrestling video game. The thing is that it's basically just a bunch of half-dressed women doing submission moves on other half-dressed women. So like a 13-year-old Cayman was like really exciting playing this game.
Yeah.
For sure. As you should have been. Pretty impressive. Hey, can I read you guys a freaky thing that happened in chat just now?
Yes, it's breaking my brain, dude.
I would love to do it while we're watching the Rumble Roses 360 trailer. I think that would be really funny. A first-time chatter entered and said, "May I say a Bible verse?" To which I responded,
Well, this person said this the second that Cayman started asking about or not asking, but talking about fighting Satan's penis. Can we just say?
Correct. To which I responded, "You can try." And then they said a Bible verse. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Blee blee blah. And then I said, God doesn't live here, only freaks. At which point he said, oh, well, you guys have a blessed day. See you guys.
Oh,
Well, you know, good for him.
I agree.
standing on business. He's standing on business,
know,
folks. This is not the podcast for him.
Maybe he should have
No,
stuck around
no.
to see Rumble Roses out on the screen. Maybe he'd sing a different tune later.
He's still
I
here. He
think
just said.
so.
He's still
I
here.
love that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
What's the freakiest game you ever played? That's something
Yeah.
that I would like to know.
Oh, can I
terribly.
tell you about this Bible trivia game that I played as a kid?
Whoa,
Not even
hell yeah, you
joking.
can.
Hold on, what is it
Freaks.
called? Hold on, wait. Actually, I might have.
For the
pulled
record, the
trigger too early.
Bible's got some freaks.
Hold on.
True.
Yeah.
Long
If you guys
Solomon.
ever read that thing, that's crazy.
Spicy.
Actually, I might need my next turn to be this.
That's
because-
okay. I've got a whole slew of freaky games I want to talk about real bad. Listen,
Okay.
I've got like the low-hanging fruit games where like I feel like nobody probably brought Psychonauts because everybody was going to bring Psychonauts, right?
course.
In the character section, I was gonna do a shout out.
Don't yeah, it's okay. I think individual characters for Psychonauts can be on there. Let me ask, do you guys know the game Rogue Warrior by any chance?
Yes, with Mickey Rourke.
With Mickey Rourke, that is
Whoa.
exactly
Yes.
correct. Okay, this is another must-play freaky video game. It also, do you know about the ending credits song came in for this?
No.
There's a Mickey Rourke rap song at the end of this game. That's fucking crazy. But
Oh,
Rogue
God.
Warrior is, I believe it holds the record. I think it actually might have been, I think it used to hold the world record, but now it doesn't. However, what happened was that it was like the game that said fuck the most in
It
any
was,
video
yeah.
game. And I think Red Dead took it. Red Dead 2, maybe. When that came out. But Rogue Warrior is like a third person shooter that is extremely bad, but voiced by Mickey Rourke. And it is just batshit insanity. And truly one of my favorite video games that I've played ever.
I've
It's
never
based
heard of
off
this.
It's
Oh my
based
God.
off a guy who exists in real life.
Correct. And it's like all like crazy like Black Ops missions, like, you know, the guy goes, if you do this, you're on your own. And Mickey Rourke says, I don't give a fuck, I'm always on my own. Like that kind of thing. Like it's just like uber badass 2009 PS3 game design. And I believe when I played this game, this was free on PlayStation Plus at some point, or just part of like the PlayStation Plus streaming catalog. I
free?
don't think one of the highlighted games, but this game is like easily playable on modern systems from what I recall, and really a fucking wild romp. I think this game is spectacular, and at some point I'll post in the Discord the song from the end because you won't believe that it exists. It's fucking insane. It is
I can't wait.
absolutely insane. That's Rogue Warrior. I have plenty more, but I want to toss it around. Does anybody else have one that they're passionate about?
I did find the name for what I was looking. This is
Yeah.
not my submission, but I do feel it's important to share given the circumstances.
Yes.
The Bible game is literally the name
Oh.
of the game.
Yes.
It's on PlayStation 2 from 2005, and it is a Bible trivia game that I actually really liked when I was a kid. And the art is kind of low key cursed though. If you
Yeah.
pull up the people on the box art, it's kind of crazy.
it's
I'm
crazy.
so glad that you have it here because and essentially, literally, you're like playing a Family Feud style trivia game about the Bible, and you will be
Yeah.
transported to different scenes. Look at
Whoa.
yeah, this is real. And I definitely played it. Look, it even had the fake like announcer that comes out. But yeah, it was
It's
similar
such a
to like
fun stream.
yeah. Oh, this actually we should definitely do this for real. And I think I played this on PlayStation 2. Yes, Cayman?
This is like a more wholesome version of the Guy game.
Oh yeah, one of the
unfamiliar.
The
few.
dude game. What was the
Oh.
name of that?
A child.
No, you got it right.
appropriate
The guy
video.
game is correct.
The Guy game.
The guy game is
Yeah.
correct. It's basically like general trivia, but it's Girls Gone Wild, and they all like pull their tops off and stuff. And it's one of the few games that are banned on Twitch.
I mean,
It's awesome.
I think it's banned like for sale for child pornography. One of the people who was topless on it was like underage at the time, so it's been like
Well,
you can't get your hands on it kind of thing. So like I'm kind of happy that it's banned on Twitch.
Sure.
Just good to throw that out there.
yeah.
Also,
Right.
just the fact that it is what it is probably good
Yeah.
it's banned.
Yeah, from a different time, as it turns
But-
out.
Right.
May I slide in one more quick, very
please.
much a pivot from the Bible game, but
Mhm.
let's talk about Slender Man, the 8 pages.
Oh
game.
no.
Slender Man is I'm sure you are all familiar with it actually originated from creepypasta. Anybody
That's
any
right.
creepypasta knowers in chat? What do you guys know about
yeah.
creepypasta?
A little bit.
The game is from 2012, and from what I remember correctly, I actually remember being in late high school, like playing it on the computer in computer lab when I wasn't supposed to be, because it is highly rated. I believe it's rated not safe for children. But it is essentially you play through different chapters where you're trying to collect these pages of this document to not get killed by the Slender Man. And it is cursed. It is freaky. And that more in like the aspect of like the horror realm, less in like the character freaky. But if you look up the
Sure.
Slender Man from 2012, the way that he looks in the game is absolutely crazy. But that's my two little sub submissions there.
Very
Amazing.
nice. Very nice. Dumpster Boy, I know you got more in there.
Ooh, got more in the pipeline. You know what? Okay, if we're going just games that's freaky. Do you guys remember Assassin's Creed Unity?
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna talk about the faces?
Yeah, with the first launch of Assassin's Creed Unity was absolute chaos with how broken and janky the game was. So you ended up with like all of these faces that were like malformed and eyeballs like jutting out, looking like Gary the Snail. Bring that. Look, Ubisoft, bring that back. If you're gonna bring anything back, bring back the jank. Like that's what we
Yeah.
want to see.
Yep. A little jank is good. That's what people always say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Squinky
little
jank. I
Squanky jankers.
I love
That's
a little
something.
jank. You know.
Yeah. Patrick, you got
Amazing.
some freakiness for me?
Oh, baby. A couple other ones. I definitely got my freakiest out the gate, I think, with Hidden My Game by Mom, but also
Yeah, of
shout out
course.
to a game that Jake, you helped me remember on one of your streams recently on the GameCube, PN03.
Yeah.
This is a game, it's a third-person shooter by Capcom, where you play as a woman that like dances while she's killing shit. It's like whenever she's just like kind of like vibing while you're killing all the different enemies. I remember playing that a lot as a kid. And then as I was looking it up, turns out that game was directed by Shinji Mikami, which is wild to me. And then a couple other quick ones. This is like freak adjacent, but Catherine, the game Catherine,
Oh,
in
yeah,
the PS3 era,
yeah.
just like you play as this guy and you're essentially trying to sort through whether you want to be unfaithful to your partner, but the gameplay, it happens inside your dreams. It's like a puzzle game inside your dreams, and you're hopping around like in your underwear on these like giant box puzzles that is just really fucking crazy.
It's like an Atlas game, right?
It's an Atlas game. Yeah. It's
Very
a
anime.
game that didn't age very well. There's a lot of some like problematic type dialogue in that game.
Right.
But really, really fucking weird game. And then this one also is more adjacent, I think, more just on the fact that how it came to exist. The Forgotten City. Anyone know the Forgotten City here?
Yeah.
This was a game I was super hot on a few years ago, but it's like a time travel murder mystery game set in like ancient Rome that was just a Skyrim mod that they then turned into an actual full game. That's really fucking good. But more so, it's, to me, the game itself is a little freak because it started as a Skyrim mod and then was like nominated for Game of the Year awards at like, smaller type outlets, but for like narrative and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's want to say it's currently on PlayStation Plus catalog.
It is. It is.
So if you want to go check it out, apparently it's not a very long game either.
No, not at all. It's a really cool game. Like if you like kind of a mystery type narrative, and it controls and feels exactly like Skyrim would, like you're in that first person view, you're running around this little city and you're talking to different people. It's essentially like a big side quest from a Skyrim game. Really, really cool shit. And it goes places that you do not expect.
It's a game.
And there's like
sorry.
No, there's like a time loop thing to it. And yeah, High Score Really says it doesn't sound like a freak game. It doesn't. I think more so just the fact that it's a Skyrim mod that became a full-on game nominated for awards, to me makes it a little honorable mention, as it were.
Game that's been recommended to me many times because of my love for Outer Wilds.
Oh, sure.
They say it might scratch the same itch a little bit there.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I still have like a really long list, but one of them that I really want to share is like a franchise, but it's really embodied by Defenders of the Future, which is the Dreamcast and PS2 iteration. I would love to talk about Echo the Dolphin.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
What is
like
this?
I feel like if you guys know Echo the Dolphin, it's a how well do you know it? Because for 500 years, dolphins and humans had lived together. And what happens in Echo the Dolphin is that you remember a cute dolphin swimming around, but what you don't remember is that entire game is about an alien invasion. And this fucking game goes off the rails. I'm starting with the first one. The first one ends in a crazy underwater spaceship type situation.
Oh my god.
And it gets only crazier the further you go into it. That game is a fever dream. And the opening cutscene for the final Echo game that came out for Dreamcast and then later ported to PS2 is absolutely insane. Like there's alien spaceships abducting dolphins left and right. It is truly wild.
I had no idea Echo the Dolphin went this way. I've only ever like heard of it. I never played it. I just know that it's a thing. This is wild.
Yeah. I can't recommend it enough. I really hate Echo the Dolphin.
Hate that.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate it.
We're talking about
fucking hate it.
Dreamcast games. What was the name of that game with the fish face man, or the man faced fish?
Seaman.
Seaman. Yeah.
What?
Okay, let's bring in from
Kayla,
the
buckle
Discord.
up. You're in for a fucking treat.
I'm
yeah.
afraid.
Squanky, which I've done bad about bringing into the Discord for this particular section, but Squanky said, so someone else talked about Odama, which we'll talk about.
Jake.
High Score Weekly says Seaman looks like Jake, which is not entirely false.
Damn,
Aw.
fucking got him. But this is a Ute Saito masterpiece, according to Swanky Joinkers. Seaman probably qualifies for both one of the weirdest games and characters combined. Recommend if you love Nintendogs but wanted more nightmares.
Correct.
Insane.
We're not going to show what Seaman looks like.
I guess I'm gonna find like a little bit of footage for Seaman, but I think what's important to note about Seaman is that Seaman is a game that functioned primarily via a pack-in peripheral that was a microphone for your Dreamcast, and you would talk to your Seaman and train it, and you would teach it words like "Seaman, come, Seaman, do a trick," and then eventually it would learn words and talk to you and give you like fucking attitude and stuff. Seaman is crazy, and then
This
Seaman
is-
Oh my
also
god.
evolves.
So cursed.
It's so
Oh.
crazy. And-
yes.
Like it's a long shot, but I need like $250 to be donated to me so that I can get a Seaman microphone and Seaman for the Dreamcast and stream this game, because you cannot effectively emulate it. You need to play it on original hardware, but it's fucking bonkers. There will be multiple Seamen, and the Seamen will eat each other and like hit each other and be rude to each other. They'll call you a fucking asshole. Like Seaman is wild. Eventually it evolves and it becomes like a landman, and it'll get like legs and stuff.
Jake, tell me more about the Seaman.
Seaman, you can mostly find it at IGN.com, friend of the
Great.
show.
Friend of the show.
Who said that you look like Seaman? Because I kind of see it.
That was
High
High
Score
School
Weekly.
Weekly.
Yeah, respect.
Mhm.
High School
Same
Weekly.
person I called handsome earlier in this
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Very cool. Very cool.
Wow.
Karma will
All right.
find a way. Another
Do you guys want to? Yeah.
I was gonna say
please.
I can burn through these Discord ones.
I think we should all let's burn through our rest of our list. If you have anything else you'd like to do,
great. High
Yeah.
Score Weekly mentioned Odama on the GameCube, a feudal Japan battlefield pinball game where you use the GameCube microphone to yell commands at the soldiers. Fucking wild. And then he also
Crazy.
shouted out Katamari Damacy.
Mhm.
Cog sent in a few. I'm going to pull Geist on the GameCube, where you're
Yeah.
turned into a ghost and have to possess other people to use their weapons, possess objects to solve puzzles, and complete objectives, etc.
First party, by the way. First party. Nintendo game.
Wow, first party.
Wow.
Jonesing Simba sent in Pain on the PS3. The whole goal was to launch a character from a slingshot into a city and get points by causing as much pain to them as possible and as much destruction to the city. Think the destruction modes from the Burnout games, developed by Idle Minds, who eventually rebranded as Deck 9 and developed the most recent Life is Strange games. Wow, that's crazy. And David Hasselhoff and Andy Dick apparently were DLC characters in Pain. A couple others. Noah sent in Hyper Demon. Can you pull up some B-roll for Hyper Demon, Jake?
Yeah, of course.
Because this one's, I looked at the video for this one, easily the trippiest game that any of us have brought up, and that's including Seaman. It's a trippy,
No
surreal
way.
boomer shooter that gets harder the more you kill people, and the game had a crazy field of view where you could basically see a full 180-degree periphery, and there's this weird like double exposure happening throughout the game. It looks unhinged. Like it looks like unlike anything that I've ever seen in video games before.
I'm intrigued.
A couple other
Alrighty.
ones. Coal Mine sent in Cubivore, excuse me. It's definitely the oddest game I remember playing. You're a blocky creature that goes around eating other blocky creatures, and it was made by Atlas. But yeah, so this game, if you're watching the video version, it's like I can't even comprehend what's happening
Yeah,
on
this is
this
insane.
screen. And that's not just because that
Bitrate
it's,
killer.
it's not because it's just chugging a little bit. Even at full FPS, it's like, what is this game? I can't.
Yeah.
Last couple, Big Freakin' sent in the Outlaw Golf series.
Oh,
Said you've got Steve Carell doing commentary over an irreverent golf sim with crazy characters. As you make bad shots, you lose your composure, which makes you play even worse. But this
I
can
thought
get
that's what
spelled.
Dumpster Boy was bringing
Oh, sure.
Really?
when he was talking
No,
about
I
the
was going to
sexy
bring
sports.
BMXXX.
Ooh,
Also
BM
banned on
Triple
Twitch.
S. There's a fighting mini game apparently in Outlaw Golf series where you beat the piss out of your caddy and restore your mood. Amazing.
Amazing. Incredible.
And that is
Domestic
all of the
violence.
submissions of specifically the games, the freaky
Wow.
games.
Uh-huh.
I think that was a great comprehensive list. I have no
Yeah.
notes. That's all.
Kayla, do you have any to add? No.
The only last one I wanted to mention, which is 100% playable, unlike some of these games that
Yeah,
you guys
true.
have mentioned, We Happy Few is a
Oh, yeah.
very freaky game. Them people are drugged out. They are absolutely unhinged in 1960s England like setting. But the game itself is actually really fun. Have any of you guys played it?
I dabbled. I played.
You
It was
dabbled?
free at some point, whether it was Game
Yeah.
Pass or whatever, and because I really liked the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And they're the folks that made that are making South of Midnight, which comes out in a month, which I'm very excited for.
True.
But the gameplay loop of We Have a Few just didn't click for me.
It is a little tough. It's definitely like survival-esque action adventure, but like I love the kind of like horror elements and like the whole it's very delusional and like the whole system of like it being like, oh, they're like actually overdosed on like joy. It's very strange. And the characters are just really wacky, but I couldn't go without mentioning it because I do actually enjoy the game. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hell
that's
yeah.
my last one.
Okay. As you can imagine, I've got a massive list left. I'll just kind of run through a bunch of them. Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Has anyone heard of that game before? It's a Nintendo 64 game where you play like a wrecking ball, but your wrecking ball is like a character, and it's on the Nintendo 64 backwards compatibility Switch Online thing that's happening.
Whoa.
Right now. So you can play it, but it's like crazy. It's like
Oh.
a side-scrolling racing game that's really wild. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg is
Yeah.
a favorite of mine for the GameCube. I really love that game. It's super weird, and it feels like it feels so Sega-fied. Like it feels like it is just like the sister game of Sonic Adventure, which it really is. The Outlaw series was on mine as well. They did Outlaw Golf 1, 2, and Outlaw Volleyball. And then maybe the most on-brand pick of all of the sports games for this show, Freak Style. Any Freak Style knowers?
No.
That's a weird video game. So the SSX series has a couple like extreme sports EA
I love that
counterparts. counterparts that are also very interesting. Like Sledstorm is one of them, where it has like a couple of the characters from SSX, where it's a very over-the-top racing game. Freak Style is SSX, but it's on not BMX, motocross bikes. Very, very good.
It's very early aughts of like they spell
Mhm.
freak FREEK.
Correct. I have the Fast and Furious games, Showdown and Crossroads in particular, which I love both. Balan Wonderworld is an insane video
Yeah.
game that I have completed on stream, and it is not fun. The Katamari series has already been brought up. I did Echo the Dolphin. Jet Grind Radio. That's a freaky
Sure.
game. Jet Set Radio, Jet Grind Radio Future, the whole 9 yards. And then my last like really favorite freaky game is a game called Pen Triathlon, which is a Dreamcast game. It is a very bizarre racing game where you play an extremely strange looking penguin type character, and it's got like moderately cell shaded graphics that devolve a little bit once you actually get into gameplay, but for the most part this game is very, very bad. But they call it a triathlon because it's like a triathlon where sometimes you're walking, sometimes you're sliding, and sometimes you are swimming.
Sneaking.
But let me tell you, this game is crazy, and there is not a normal character in the entire thing. I really love this game. I played it a lot when I was a kid on Dreamcast. People sleep on the Dreamcast, man. I love this.
I never had one.
Weirdos in Dreamcasts.
Oh, Jerica, there's 3 people on this podcast that had Dreamcasts, right? It's myself, Jerica, and maybe Cog.
Yeah, Jerica loves the Dreamcast. Jerica's a knower.
Man. One of my favorite content creators ever, Kyle Bossman, had a show on a previous network that he was on called It's Never Too Late to Dreamcast, which I think is the best name that could possibly exist for a show of that format where he would just play old Dreamcast games. And Pen Triathlon was one of them. It made me feel so fucking good.
My family swore off Sega consoles when we got a Sega CD and it was broken within a week.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So yeah, we didn't do Sega after that.
That makes sense. Yeah. The next, I did want to talk about some of the games that were coming up for Freaky Games that we'll be covering here on the channel. We will definitely be talking about Wanderstop next week.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Is that
I'm
next
so
week?
excited.
That's the 12th.
It's next week. Which, by the way, if Kayla scores high on that, Noah's in big trouble. I said it somewhere on the show before. I had a bid in for that. And then he was like, check this game out in the Discord. And Kayla was like, great, I'm going to go bid for it. And she outbid me.
Yeah. And friend of the show, High Score Weekly, active in the chat, did play the demo. I have not played the demo. There is a free demo you can play right now. And said it was absolutely lovely. Discussed on JK Games, which I will definitely be playing this day one. It comes out March 11th. I just looked it up.
Cool.
Yeah. We've talked about it already. We've talked about South of Midnight, which I think is a pretty freaky looking game that's on its way. To a T has been a hot topic of conversation around these parts. We're going to be making some To a T content in the near future. I can't bring audio into the podcast right now, but believe I would play that song. Maybe we can figure that out towards the end. Yeah, it is spectacular. And there's one last freaky game that, did any of you guys pick up on this in the show notes, or did you just go by VV Prism and you were like, I don't know what that is, but he'll explain.
Well, I see what's happening in the backstage.
You can't look at
video.
the B-roll ahead of time. That's not fair. Now, this is as freaky as it gets, baby. Now, if you guys remember all the way back to episode 1,
I'm completely soaked now, it says.
I tried to show off what I was playing at the time, which was Dead or Alive Extreme 3, to get prepped for the Dead or Alive Extreme spin-off that comes out at the end of this month. Dead or Alive Extreme Prism Venus Vacation, which drops all of the boring gameplay parts of the Venus Vacation of the Dead or Alive Extreme games. No more volleyball, no more butt battles. This is just a dating simulator with the girlies. And look at this. I think it's important to look at this scene right here. I like this QTE that's about to take place. Take a peek, everybody. You hit triangle, and then you yeah. Does she like it? I think so.
Don't stare, okay?
No, not the
So what I'm
Wait.
is Kayla's gonna be playing this for the show, right?
Yeah.
Kayla, you're streaming that week.
I have a request. I need Jake to play the game, but Patrick to do the voiceover
Yeah.
for the game.
Ooh,
That's
that would
what
be a
we
good
really
stream.
need.
Okay, so we'll do 2 streams. We'll do a Gooner stream and a Goonet stream. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Was that THOTS or THOUGHTS?
Little double
Mm.
entendre for you.
Mhm,
Very,
mhm.
very nice. I love some freaky games, but you know what I love even more than freaky games? Freaky characters.
Yeah.
Freaky characters. And listen, we're not gonna be here all day talking about these characters. I just want to kind of rattle these off around the horn. I don't know how many you guys all have, but I got a long list over
I
here.
got a long list.
Okay, cool.
I have
So
a
let's
minute
just-
list, but meaningful
okay.
nonetheless.
we got plenty to talk about. My first and maybe my favorite is Big the Cat.
Sure.
Ooh.
I love Big the Cat. He's so special to me.
Don't you
There's
have a Big
something
the Cat
about-
impression?
Yeah, but it's really important. You have to you don't want it to get edited out of context or something like that. So I always say this is my Big the Cat impression. Froggy, what are you doing here? That's my Big the Cat impression. Because if you
Yeah.
just have me doing that voice and it just saying, what are you doing here? Then I think I'm in trouble.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
Froggy goes fucking crazy, and Big the Cat's always on the hunt for Froggy. But that is easily the best. I was gonna go Rouge the Bat, but that's a different kind of freaky.
Yeah.
That's for a
Mhm.
different
What are we
episode.
talking about right now?
You don't
We're
know
talking
Big
about-
the Cat?
Big the Cat.
The fuck is Big the Cat?
The
Let's show
lovable
him.
blue man? Big the Cat from Sonic Adventure and other such things.
Okay,
Other
never mind. Never mind. No, exactly. Big the Cat's the one in Sonic Frontiers that you go fishing with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got this fishing pole right here. Look.
That's not the most elegant
Perfect.
screen capture I've ever had on stream, but you know what? We'll take it.
Wow.
Fair.
got the
That's a
fishing
good
pole
sorry. I
right
do
here.
apologize. I rescind my my whatever the attitude I brought alongside that.
That's
Of
okay.
I
course. Of
rescind it.
course.
It seems you know who he is and you get the pass.
Yeah.
Let's go. Kayla, let's hear one of your picks for a freaky character.
Yeah, I actually have my very first husband submission from
Hey.
Hunter, friend of the chat and of my
Husband of the chat.
husband of the chat.
And friend of the Kayla.
And friend of the Kayla. He actually mentioned one that I did not play, but Bubsy from Bubsy 3D.
great.
Bubsy on my
fucking-
list. That
Yeah.
little
Hell
freak
yeah.
show.
He's
Yep.
so cute. I did
Great.
not play this, but very, very near and dear to Hunter's heart. And came out in 1996, and he played it on the PlayStation. And he's a little cute guy. Did you guys? I'm assuming you guys played
no.
this. Sounds like you
I
did.
played a
No, he's
lot of
not.
Bubsy on
Yeah,
the Sega.
Bubsy's great.
He's a
He's
little cute
not
guy.
Bubsy's
cute.
great.
Okay, this is what I want you to do on your free time. I want you to look up a movie by famed Oscar award-winning director Peter Jackson. He did a movie called Meet the Feebles that came out. This
Ooh.
was before he became famous, where he did a movie all with puppets. And there's a rabbit in the movie that looks just like Bubsy,
Correct.
who has chlamydia. And
Oh.
you get to see him slowly devolve into like just a pile of pus. It's
Nice.
fucking awful.
Oh, look how
just
cute
imagine
he
that.
is.
He looks just like him.
Honestly, it is uncanny how much that character looks like Bubsy in this game, for sure.
Insane.
Yeah, that
Insane.
was my audience submission.
Bubsy's
that.
great. Dumpster Boy, who you got on your list?
So I was gonna go with the merchant from Resident Evil 4.
Ooh,
what
are you
boyin'? What are you boyin'? Here's
Great
the thing.
fucking
What does that
pick.
little fucker look like?
What are you
Yeah.
selling?
Like what
Excellent
is
question.
he's got the eyes like he is infected.
Yeah.
None of the villagers seem to care too much about him.
Yep.
He's what does he got under? What does his skin look like?
Oh yeah.
You wanna ask?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Thank
Sure.
that's what I'm
you.
asking. What does his skin look like?
Yeah.
I got
Merchant
another
uncovered.
one
Freaky.
I want to throw you, and that's Chop Chop Master Onion from Parappa the Rappa. You know that
Ooh.
fucker throws down. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
that guy who's laying pipe. That little
Yeah.
Oh
freak,
yeah.
that little fucking freak with his
Absolutely.
human body and
Freak
onion head and his
elite.
rap songs.
Absolutely. I
Onion joke.
love
That's an
it.
onion joke.
that. Rico League. I see what you did there.
That's an onion
We
joke.
talk about
Freak Elite.
Astrobot
That was
spoilers in
good.
here. Is this a safe place?
Sure.
Sure.
Look at this fucker. You know
Pop Chop Master Onion being the final bot in Astrobot is the coolest nod to a freaky
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
No reason for it other than just like we don't give a fuck. That was Astrobot's ending. We don't give a fuck. Here's Chop Chop Master Onion. This fucking guy who runs his dojo and probably has some high stakes gambling in the back.
In my finale of Astrobot, one of the 4 games that I've ever platinumed in my life, I was struggling on that last level for so long. And somebody in the chat said, the reason why you're failing is the skin. And I said, you're so right. And I'm already 3 hours into this level that I can't beat. So I go back and something inside of me says, pick the skin that speaks to you the most. And for me, I'm a huge Parappa fan. So I picked Parappa and I said, you know what I just need? I just need the right feeling to get motivated. So I played my favorite song. It's actually my sub alert, and it has been for many, many years. Parappa's live rap from Parappa the Rapper. And I played that song. Yo, 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 how you do? Here we go. Somebody say ho. And I played that song as I went and tackled the level in my Parappa uniform for the first time. And I one take Timmy to that shit. I went in the Parappa uniform, in the Parappa costume, while playing that song all the way to the end, and then got to the end, celebrated, and I go, is that Chop Chop Master Onion? It was too fucking perfect.
Hell yeah.
Unbelievable. Very, very triumphant moment, and it all fit together so well. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Patrick, was that yours? Was that your pick?
That was not mine.
Okay. Hit me with yours.
I mean, King of the Freaks is Tingle from Zelda.
Oh my god.
There actually
call.
Isn't a freakier character than Tingle.
Took it home, buddy. You took it home.
Like that fucking freak, capital F, is such a weirdo. Like,
Tingle was on my list.
Look at this little fucker.
There's a lot of freaks in Zelda, honestly. Like Zelda is dripping with freaks. But again, King of the Freaks is Tingle. Tingle costume stream win, Jake.
I would not be opposed to it. Do you know the game Freshly Picked?
No, not by name.
Okay, so there is a game that came out. It only came out in Europe and Japan. It was deemed somehow too weird for American audiences, called Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. And it was a DS game, like a puzzle. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's a Tingle video game, and it is beyond bizarre. I can't recommend enough checking out Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. Very, very cool. But yeah, Tingle's a freak, and also on my list, honorable mention for like a freaky recurring character from Zelda. You know what I'm going to say, right? Beetle, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't think of his name. When I was like, there's so many freaks in Zelda. I was thinking of Beetle, but I couldn't find his name.
Yeah. Patrick, can you give us your best Beetle impression?
Ooh, it's been too long since I've heard Beetle. You know what? Okay. Come back to me.
You want me to? Yeah. All right. Let's get. I would love to hear it. I think it's going to be exquisite. Let's get to my list of freaks. One of my favorite freaks in any video game is Professor E. Gad. Anyone know who I'm talking about here? Egad.
I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Professor Egad is on my list. The professor from Luigi's Mansion series.
Oh,
and he is an odd fellow. He's an odd fellow. He's got the little single strand of hair, and he also, what I love is that even as times have changed, they have maintained the Luigi's Mansion dialogue where he'll say full sentences of stuff, but will just make like the weird little like gibberish sounds, and he always says like suka suka, which is my favorite thing in the world. I don't know why he does it, but yeah, Professor Egad is one of my favorite little freakos, and such a cool first party Nintendo character. Real certified freak. Kayla, what do you got for me?
Listen, I have a little bit of a cop out, and we did mention it earlier, but all of the Psychonauts 2 characters are freaking freaks, man. Especially that little boy Rasputin. Rasputin's a little freak, but I love that game so much. All of the villains too, like the oh god, what's his name? What's like the main villain guy? The guy with the head with the big old head. Now. Frontal lobe. That guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a freak. I love that game, and I honestly, it's a look at that guy. He just looks like what he looks like? He looks like the Ants movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh god,
disturbing
Jake,
movie.
Who's the little freak with the afro and the teeth? You know the one.
Ooh, yeah, I do know the one. I don't know any of their names very well. I'm a big. Who's the little guy from the first game?
The
Very prepared.
the
His like
sergeant
best
guy?
friend. No,
his best
the
friend.
little
Oh,
tiny
what is?
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, hold
Oh,
on.
I
I'll
forget.
look.
But also like the professor like coming out of your ear and like talking
Dogen.
to you. So many weirdos in Psychonauts.
But it's so
Dogen's
good.
the
though.
little guy. It's Lobato is the bad guy, and it's
Yeah.
Bobby Zilch is the guy with the really long neck and the big like orange afro.
Amazing.
Very
Incredible.
good pulls. Very good pulls. Coach Oleander. Oh, there's so many good ones. It's actually insane. Yeah,
There
Psychonauts
is.
positively full of freaks.
Yeah.
Full of freaks.
And a great game that you should
All right.
play.
I think I'm ready, Jake.
All right, let's hear your best Beetle.
Oh,
Really good, dude. Really good.
it needs
That'll
to be a
our
little
new
lower, I
Summer
think.
sound. I'll give
Incredible.
you mine from Wind Waker. Hey, no, there's a little hey like that. There was a little
Give
too
me
much
it
gurgle in the
cracked
first
out
one.
on me one more time.
Hey, was that good?
I hope
Your
someone's
mic is
clipping.
your
Right.
mic is holding you back. But
Sure. It's we're up
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Pretty good Beatles all around, I must say,
Hold on.
especially mine. No, I'm just kidding. Patrick's was
Do
better.
you mind if I throw two from the same genre?
I would love for you to throw two.
So these two freaks fall on like I feel like opposing ends of the freak scale. Like
Okay.
kind of the horseshoe, you know, where you're
Okay.
so different that you come back together again. That's Randy Pitchford and Kojima. Okay,
Those are great video game freaks.
like two of the most video game freaks of all time. They horseshoe back to like so different that they're here again.
yeah, one should
You
be in
know?
prison for his behavior. The other should be in prison for just stringing us along all these years.
Right. And one should be inside of medieval times. His USB drive full of magic tricks.
Wait, he left it in the medieval times. That's where it was.
Yeah, the
left?
Randy Pitchford lore is that USB drive was found inside of medieval times, and people thought it was the aforementioned inappropriate video from somebody young. But in
That's right.
fact, it wasn't. It was a young appearing woman who was of age, not proven in court, who was doing something because Randy Pitchford comes from a family of magicians and is a big magic fan and loves to perform.
No.
And
Is this lore?
Yes.
yeah, this is real. This is real.
This is
lore.
Jake
all really
defending Randy Pitchford. Just to
happening. No. We hate Randy Pitchford around here. I would like to buy one of his silly little shirts though, which he sold online for a period of time. Pre-worn Randy Pitchford wacky eat button-up shirts.
God damn.
But he
Dan
said
Plastics.
that no, that's not that material. That is an above age woman doing a sexual act that I saved on that drive because it reminded me of a magic trick. And Kayla, cover your ears. The magic trick was popping a ping pong ball out of her opening.
That's just Thailand.
Oh boy.
Insane. I'm sorry for using.
And
the
that's
phrase
all we
opening.
got, folks.
David, can you follow up with some reasoning on why you're saying that's Thailand before we alienate an entire country, please?
The ping pong show originated in Thailand, just
Okay,
like
great.
the smoking show.
Great. That's
The
all I
smoking
need.
show is another good one too. I bet Randy Pitchford would love the smoking show.
Randy
Kayla, cover your
Pitchford
ears.
would love
Oh,
a smoking show.
Um,
Dan, good show. No worries. Nancy's not present for this. She will be
Nancy-
blocked from this episode.
Kayla said I'm on the podcast again, but Jake's hosting again. So
Don't
Yeah.
come.
come back next
Then
week.
she was like, "The dumpster boy's here," and she's like, "Okay, well, I do show up for the dumpster boy."
Aww.
So you know,
we stand supporting
Drew.
moms in the show.
Cayman, how many more do you have?
I mean, well, Randy Pitchford and Kojima, those are some big ones. I
Yeah.
just would like to point out for International Women's Month, Lady D from
Oh,
Resident
sure.
Evil
Oh,
8
yeah.
step on me.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, criminally
Real free.
not enough screen time. Criminal.
Mm.
Truly.
Criminal the
That-
most.
Right.
The second, mild spoilers for Resident Evil Village, the second that like the mansion with Lady D is no longer really in play, that game, in my opinion, falls off a cliff. If
See,
that
I
game
loved
was
it.
only in that mansion, it would have been a fucking 10.
I loved everything about it, but they really used her a lot in advertisement, which might be indicative to how women are used.
Yeah,
You know,
for
in
sure.
general.
Wow.
Indeed.
No, for
Kind of
sure.
not.
Or no, you
actually.
don't have to kid about that. We agree with you.
But she's so cool. She's such
Yeah.
a cool character.
She's
And
great.
For sure.
didn't her voice actress pass away? Is that real?
Oh no, I don't know. I
I-
hope not.
I don't know. Actually, don't fact check me. I don't know if that's
are
real.
fact
But
checking
either way,
live.
criminal screen time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. Like,
Step on me, vampire mommy.
yes,
Correct.
absolutely correct.
Listen, you guys knew that this was coming, but Pepsi Man, although is originally a mascot in Japan, most notably known for his Pepsi game, Pepsi Man, where you play as the titular Pepsi Man. And let me tell you, this is a grade A freako. The bodysuit, the chain, everything about it is incredibly cursed and amazing. And I love my
Wow.
I love my Pepsi Man.
You do. You're a little Pepsi.
Really.
Chad did
Damn.
correct me. It was one of the vampire daughters, voice actresses
Got
that
it.
passed away. So
Damn.
I was close. It is sad.
Got it. That's less sad. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
Just kidding.
Jesus Christ. Jake, you want to have a little bit of a freak off? You want to just go back and forth? Because it seems like we have a big list still to get through, both of us.
A fucking freak off, baby.
Yeah, let's
You know
let's
I
have a
do.
little freak off.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Freak off. All right. You're up first. I'm gonna try and match your freak, as they say.
Ooh.
I mean, Mario is also full of them. This
Mario
might be a
has
hot take.
Ton of freaks.
Baby Mario, fucking freak. Why is there a
Absolutely.
baby Mario? Why does that even exist?
What's
And,
the
like,
lore?
well,
I don't know.
and Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island.
Oh, got it.
You play as Yoshi, but you're protecting. It's a fucking escort mission the whole game
Fucking
with Baby
fever
Mario.
dream.
Fucking kill me. It's the worst.
Yeah.
But there's
Kamek
just
is
so
a really
many.
good Mario freak.
Yeah, Monty Mole.
Really love Kamek. Monty Mole. Basically, any Paper Mario character that joins your party
Yes.
is a really good one as well. Like, all of those guys are fucking weird. Who's the ghost girl with the big bazongas?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know with the huge lips.
Correct. Right.
I
And the
forget her name.
huge
Yeah, exactly.
lips.
But there's so many. What, Charge and Chuck? Is that his name?
Charge and Chuck is
There's
a
so
great
many
freak.
weird.
Vivian
Mario
is
characters.
her name.
Vivian. That's right. That's right.
Call her by her name, not her assets. Okay.
No, yeah, no,
Correct.
for
That's
sure.
my
For sure.
bad.
Birdo, another Mario one.
Birdo.
Birdo's a freak.
The existence of Wario and Waluigi,
100%.
fucking freaks. Mario's full of freaks for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Madame that's
Flurry.
right. Noah keeps us honest. Madame Flurry is the one who we were talking about.
Oh, who's Vivian? Where was I
Vivian
looking
is
at?
the like ghost character.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Okay, I just rattled off a few. Back to you, Jake.
Okay. I will go platformer, and I feel like let's knock Glover off the list because Glover was mentioned in passing earlier.
That's true.
I'm gonna bring you Toomba. Toomba exclamation point. Tomba.
I forget
Tomba.
Tomba. What is Tomba?
Tomba exclamation point is the title character of a PlayStation 1 platformer that is very pig centric. Very pig centric. There's a lot of grappling pigs and diving around in interesting ways. But if you saw Tomba, you would know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I see.
He is this man. There's also been a really great. I should see if I can bring up the picture of the Tomba toy. Like, Limited Run Games just put out a toy for Tomba, and they had like a digital, like version of it where they showed what it might look like, and then the actual version of it for what it does look like is so absolutely insane and backwards. It is truly wild. Here, I got both. I got the goods for you. Here we go. This is the Tomba toy that they pitched. Whoa. They said buy this for $30, and then this is what was shipped. It's like a very cursed Muppet. Like
Fraggle Rock.
They got the
Fraggle
Rock.
Hey,
very good. Very
Isn't
good.
Tomba getting like a remake or remaster?
It did. After I make fun of Limited Run Games, shout out to Limited Run Games. They sponsored me last year to play.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Fucking piece of shit.
If my memory serves me, I want to say Dan Goodshow also suggested this in the chat way earlier, but also on my list, Octodad. Dadliest Catch.
Sure.
Certified freak.
Yep. Absolutely.
Either one of you got
makes
Cranky Kong on your list?
No, but Cranky Kong's
Yes.
really good.
You do?
Cranky
Good,
Kong, Funky Kong is weird. King K. Rool is weird.
Yeah,
There's a lot of freaks.
the Kongs
Um,
have a bunch of freaks.
The whole
And it's-
family.
Benetua
is-
sets us on a pretty righteous path of fighting game characters. Blanca mentioned.
Yeah,
Mhm.
What I really love about Blanca is that Blanca embodies like an archetype of fighting game character where, God, there is nothing more boring than a video game that only has like people fighting and punching each other. Like they're all just like, this guy's a ninja and this guy's wearing jeans and this guy has
Yeah.
blonde hair. Give me the fucking freaks. So,
how about who wins in a fight between Blanca and Bo Raicho from Mortal Kombat?
ooh, Bo Raicho is so fucking good, dude. When he throws up on the ground, he's like a classic little dumpster boy type of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Aww.
Sure. You know what? The
But-
fact that no one's mentioned King from Tekken
Oh,
as a
King
good
is an
freak
freak, just
excellent
walking
choice.
around with the severed jaguar's head over his head,
Yep.
doesn't take it
King
off.
is
You know it
great.
stinks in there.
Tekken,
Armor
one of my
King.
biggest missing spots of my gaming lore. I've never played a Tekken game.
Oh, so good. Tekken 3 has a character that after researching it, I believe is actually like a guest character from like an anime. It's this character named Gon, Gon, who's a really like small velociraptor looking character with a big head, but he's extremely small in that game.
Oh,
and
he's
was like
cute.
a very good freak pick. Yeah, Gon in Tekken was great. Definitely my favorite Tekken freak for sure.
Wow.
He's worth having a picture of, I would say. I will show you guys this little like it's the dimensions for me on Gon. You know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
See what's
Whoa,
going
look
on
at
here?
that look at that little.
Look at his
fuck.
arms. Look at his arms there.
Looks like a,
amazing.
looks like a Digimon.
Prehistoric freak, indeed, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Prehistoric.
You know what
love
they say about
prehistoric
prehistoric rats.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
And
god.
The teaser, the
Can't
teaser
jump.
girl at the end, she's got a dump truck ass, and she's
Oh
a
my
freak
god,
on a
now
leash.
that's a
if you know
fucking
what I mean.
freak.
I know what you
No
mean.
doubt.
How about all the little freaks that you get in your party across all the various Persona games? Whether it's
Oh, great.
fucking Teddy or Morgana or Aegis in the third one. I'd never played 1 or 2, so I don't know if there's little freaks there, but there's always that one like little freak in your party, which brings up a whole realm of freaks in JRPGs. Like you always got that one freak. Who's the Final Fantasy X one? Or the Final Fantasy 9 one,
Kimari.
Jake? The red one?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think Final Fantasy being mentioned, Kimari comes to mind in
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X, where it's like to round out that party of 6 humans with a 7th very tall blue cat man. Ooh, goes fucking crazy.
Yeah, I
Goes
feel
fucking
like
crazy.
in Final Fantasy IX, maybe High Score Weekly in the chat would know. I feel like he's also a big cat man, the red guy in Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, that might be true. I have to play Final Fantasy IX, and I think I'm going to when that remake.
Amaranth
comes out.
Coral. He's not a cat guy. He's just he's
Just
a
a
huge
freako.
humanoid.
There's a couple party member freakos in Final Fantasy IX, though.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Lulu from Final Fantasy
Oh,
X.
Lulu's a
straight up
fucking
goth
freak,
girl
no.
freak.
No fucking doubt. No fucking
Gianna
doubt.
DeCrosto said, podcast within a podcast, top freak ensembles.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Ooh,
That is
next
pretty good.
time. Next time.
Another
yeah.
JRPG freak, Drippy from Nino Kuni.
Oh, sure.
You're a little
yes.
like guy that goes along with you on your journey, like from the fucking Highlands of Scotland, like
Okay.
thick accent.
The gun
Yep.
from Shadow of the Damned.
The
Oh, I don't
gun?
remember.
Oh,
this.
yeah, it talks to you, right?
It talks to you, yeah, and it's like really perverted. Like,
Yeah.
The gun. Interesting.
the gun.
I don't know
I'm
how
intrigued.
to
Oh, sorry.
pronounce
Yeah,
the
it's
name,
it's
but
Suda 51 or Suda 51. How did you say it? Is it 51 or 51?
I think it's 5-1. We've learned
5-1.
recently.
We've
interesting.
learned.
I've always
right.
imagined Suda 51. This is the freak
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
was envisioning on Final Fantasy 9. High Score Weekly said Kina. I think it's Kina or Quina. Quinn.
Yes.
Who could tell you? But
Yeah, when-
they are
when
like
I-
a chef eating with a big fork. I don't know. They're an absolute freak.
Yeah, when I like a minute ago went, oh, it's because I searched that character when High School Weekly in the chat. I was like, oh yeah, certified fucking freak.
Yeah,
Do you want to know
There's no doubt about it.
my very last submission is any adult in the Little Nightmares franchise.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
absolutely
sure.
fucking
Correct.
terrifying. Little Nightmares 1, the adults when they're sitting specifically at like the table when they're eating, that scene where you have to like run over the food while the like huge ass adults are like eating, and you're this little kid with your little rain jacket running around. Terrifying. Freak.
Yep.
It's so so freaky.
Big Freakin' who knows freaks says Glenn the frog, aka Frog from Chrono Trigger, is a great freak, great party freak. And in that same thing, Robo, I think, is an awesome freak in that game. Good freaks
For sure.
You can really create like a, you put Chrono in there, Robo and fucking Glenn, you're cooking. Oh, you're cooking. That's a nice
What
party.
a well-rounded ensemble we have.
Oh, for sure.
That's all freaks representing our team.
So true. I got
Well, we're on this episode together.
I have like 10 more.
A couple more.
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more.
Yeah. Why don't you go through the rest of yours? I'll go through the rest of mine, and then we'll figure out what to do next.
Okay. I've got one of I'm gonna go through the rest of my Dalsim. I got a lot of the fighting game ones. You guys know Voldo from Soul Calibur? Soul Calibur, he's got
the lanky one,
swords or blades as hands and feet, and Voldo is absolutely terrifying and kind of moves around like a spider, like he's always upside down or something. It's really not nice.
Unsettling.
It's really not nice.
Voldo. Yeah, I would say Voldo's really not nice.
Certified not nice.
I've got some really great ones from the Mortal Kombat. I think that Goro is one of the earliest, coolest freaks. Goro is such a desirable fucking character to play as, and is so weird and large and has 4 hands and a very long torso. Kintaro, on that same note, all the way to Motaro, who's even freakier, who is actually a centaur. I know it's a centaur, not a minotaur. You know why?
Why?
Was anyone listening? Any keen listeners?
Yeah, there was center of gravity.
Lower centaur of gravity. That's right. Motaro. And then my favorite Mortal Kombat freak is Mocap. Do you guys know who Mocap is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mocap is really cool. Mocap is a stuntman who does motion capture for Mortal Kombat, and he's playable in Deception or Deadly Alliance or something like that, but he's literally a guy wearing the ping pong balls on his suit so that they can do motion capture for him. Mocap is weird. Mocap is very, very weird.
You know who you left off your list?
Who?
Meat.
Yeah, you know what? I thought about Meat. I did think about Meat. Meat is very weird. Fucking Dumpster Boy, a Mortal Kombat knower. I'd love to do a Mortal Kombat stream with you. If you know Meat, you know enough. You know enough about. We should play Mortal Kombat Armageddon that has all the characters.
Yes, brother. We have some Mortal Kombat things on the horizon too that are gonna get weird as fuck.
Hell yeah!
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy. I'm a very big. That's my favorite fighting game franchise, and it's so out of my wheelhouse because I hate bloody and gory things and scary things, but something about Mortal Kombat's lore, I think it's just Sub-Zero and Scorpion just sell me so hard that I just want to be in on the whole franchise and know what's going on. Great.
That's valid.
Dramin is I know who you're talking about. He's a meaty, pretty kind of big meaty guy, and Moloch is the guy with the big fucking cannonball arm. He's the boss from I think Deception as well, or maybe Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance and Deception mixed up a lot. I own a hard copy of Deception I really want to play because it has that first effort at their third person RPG.
Love
and
that
it's
mode.
Really fucking weird. You play as Shujinko.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I played so much of that.
Yeah,
you just get older, progressively older as the story goes on.
Throughout the story. And then it also, I don't know, again, I mixed up on the 3D games from that era, but those are arguably the worst Mortal Kombats and my favorite because they have puzzle combat, chess combat, the fucking kart racer is in one of them. That's good. Yeah, we need to have Mortal Kombat month. Maybe it's April. I don't know.
Wow. Mortal Kombat month.
Maybe it's May. Mortal Kombat May.
Mortal Kombat May.
Yeah.
More Mortal Kombat content coming up here, drop in, drop out. I have my last freak, and this is one that I'm really proud of and I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And I don't really know, and I'm weird on this franchise too, because I'm just getting into it and I'm kind of at a crossroads here as far as where I'm at. But I've only played 2 of these games, the first 2 to completion, and I started the first one in its original form. However, there is a remake coming up that I'm very interested in getting into. My favorite freak, one of my favorite freaks of all time, even though I only played that game for the first time last year, is Liquid Snake.
Ooh.
Brother!
Mm.
I love this motherfucking villain. I had no idea what I was getting into with Metal Gear Solid 1. Have any of you guys played Metal Gear Solid?
Yes.
Okay. The ending of that game with like the fake out and then the return and then the car escape and just Liquid Snake being the craziest like 80s movie villain essentially is some of the most badass shit that's ever fucking existed.
Yeah.
I remember so vividly being like, am I about to fight my brother shirtless on top of a Metal Gear? And the answer is yeah.
Yeah,
You are.
I really hope that Delta Snake Eater sells well enough that they start remaking the entire franchise, because I would love, because right now, like the best way, in quotes, is Twin Snakes on the GameCube to play the first one.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of like the most modern feeling version of it. But
Yeah.
I would love an even more modern take on the original Metal Gear Solid.
They're tough plays, man. I played the only reason I was able to get through more of the first one was I played emulated and did some like save state cheesing on some of those tougher situations, but I did get through this original state. I honestly, Kayla, it holds up. Like it's a little janky to play, but the story is so much fun. And if you're a Kojima appreciator, you can see the vision as far as that whole thing goes. It is awesome.
For sure. I mean, speaking of Kojima, the entire cast of Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Sure.
freaks.
Fucking
Especially the baby.
Yeah, the BB. We got all the fucking what did you call him the other day? Came in Cold Hands Mans or something like that.
we got Cold Hands Mans, we got Wasp Hands Mans, we got Old Man's Mans.
Yep,
a whole fucking cast of them.
A bunch of freaks in Death Stranding.
Bunch of fucking freaks.
Good night, Dan. Good show. Hope you dream of freaks tonight.
Freaks.
Thanks for hanging.
Yeah, get your freak on, buddy.
Dream of freaks.
So
the janitor in Control, and maybe
Yeah.
another games too.
Oh.
Yeah, Archie, total fucking freak.
Love
Love him.
Archie.
Also, a really cool like piece of lore. He is like a huge, like well-respected actor in Finland.
Really?
Sam Lake was like, "Hey, we have this character for you. We would love for you to play. We'd be honored if you would be in this game." He's like, "Fuck yeah, that sounds great." It turns out he's like the Patrick Stewart of Finland, basically. Is the fucking best.
Wow.
Also, BioShock Infinite. Really, BioShock, the franchise, has a ton of freaks.
Yeah.
In terms of bad guys, but like with BioShock Infinite, we got the George Washington freaks.
Yeah.
We got the freaks with like their heart inside them, with the big old arms and hands. Jake, you just played it. You know these better than any of us.
Without a doubt, unbelievable freaks.
How about a couple freaks from Conker's Bad Fur Day? We've talked about the sunflower on this channel before, and we've talked about the Great Mighty Pooh on this channel before. But there's just so many freaks in Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's kind of like the point of the game is that they're all freaks. How about Flood from Super Mario Sunshine?
Oh, great. I forgot that Flood was sentient. Great
and
freak.
Total sentient. Yeah. Like it's super freak.
Sentient is a rule for it to be a freak. I guess maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
A couple, let's say, quick hits. Bill Clinton, NBA Jam.
Ooh, Bill Clinton, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6.
Gizmo Gumball, Star Wars Outlaw.
Gizmo fucking Gumball. Fucking Gizmo Gumball.
The father from My Friend Peppa Pig.
That's a fucking piece of shit.
How about that? We already talked about Psychonauts. I'll skip that. Anybody play Disco Elysium here?
No.
There's a character in that game called Kuno, and Kuno speaks in the third person and always talks about Kuno and all the cool things that Kuno can do. But Kuno's just like this little fucking bully, and Kuno is a total fucking freak. And in that game, toward the beginning of it, the basic premise is you're trying to solve a murder, but you don't have your memories. And Kuno, this like 8-year-old bully, can fucking kill you and cause you to have to restart the whole game if you like fail certain like checks in the dialogue. But Kuno's a fucking freak. Love Kuno. And then I'll end on a couple questionable ones that might get me in trouble. The baby from What Remains of Edith Finch, and also the incest protagonists. The incest protagonists from 12 Minutes.
Oh, dude,
what about the incest protagonist?
I was gonna bring up the fucking Brother fucking Simulator 2021 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's called. 12 minutes. If you didn't know spoilers, the twist is
massive spoilers.
The twist is that they're the couple's an incestual couple.
Correct.
What?
And then I think there's
I'm
like
so
a
glad
dilemma.
I
You have to
didn't
choose
play
to like
12
either
minutes.
carry out like banging your brother or not.
Yeah.
Or like to tell. I don't
Whoa.
know. There's something going on there. But yeah, it's a big fucking nightmare. I always say when we're watching like one of those Annapurna shows or talking about it. I'm like, Annapurna don't miss except for 12 minutes. The brother fucking submitting.
Cayman Dumpster Boy seems interested.
Oh, for sure. Big fan over there.
I got one
feel
last
like
one
you
last
play-
visual gag from the chat.
Ooh.
Oh,
Box art Mega Man from
Oh,
Street Fighter Cross
no.
Tekken.
Whoa.
The original Mega Man box art is a very good pull. That's
Oh
crazy.
my
That is
God.
very good.
What a
That's
great
crazy.
way to end.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a little bit more, Patrick?
No, that's it. I probably shouldn't have
Wow.
ended with my two controversial ones, but hey,
No, I like that.
You had plenty of good content before then, though. This has been a great show. Truly
Yeah,
an
the freak
iconic
off.
staple.
The freak off was good, and it was janky as fuck and messy, and I don't care. This was the one to do it on, you know?
yeah,
That's
I might
okay.
not edit any of this podcast, to be honest.
We shouldn't.
That's okay.
I think it'd be funny to leave it all in. And you know what else is kind of cool about this podcast is that it's like we were due one that got a little fucked up. We've had a
Yeah.
pretty clean run as far as like technical difficulties and editing issues and stuff like that. We have pretty much been perfect
Yeah.
on the first 5 episodes.
Can I take control for just a second?
I would love you to.
High Score Weekly, absolutely not. You can't have it both ways. He's always like, "Oh, you guys start so fucking early." Blah blah blah. Oh, I'm trying to live my life over here so fucking early, and now he's like, "Wrap it up. I gotta play 2 Point Museum." No. No. You can't have it both ways, sir. Either you're upset that we start early, or you let us go late, or the reverse. Can't fucking do both, my friends.
So
Shutting
true.
that shit down.
So true.
Please
So
leave this in.
fucking true.
I love you.
Too funny.
Thank you so
Too
much
funny.
for being, you know.
All right, we're gonna call that a show. If
Yeah.
we missed your favorite freak, why don't you tell us your favorite freak in the body of a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app? Or you could just comment in the YouTube or join our Discord or go to dropindropoutpod.com to find us all over the place. I appreciate everybody's time today, our live chat. You guys have been excellent. Anyone that submitted a answer over on our Discord, we got a blossoming community over here, and it's only getting more and more larger and larger, some could say. Freakier and freakier. There was a lot of buy-in on the subject this week, and there's some really fun stuff coming up too. We did some planning last week for the future episodes. The next 4 are already on the books, and they are bangers. Patrick, where can the people find you, and what do you have coming up?
Just dropinDropoutPod.com. Go there.
Easy.
In terms of what we're coming up with this weekend, we're going to be streaming ideally some Split Fiction on Saturday. We'll see. And then other than that, yeah, Spotlight Games on Tuesdays, baby.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cayman, tell us about what you have coming up and where they can find you.
All right, let's see. What do I have coming up? We're gonna do another dumpster dive stream this Sunday, where we're gonna play Vampire Hunters, a game that was pitched to me by Steam as Vampire Survivors, but a first-person boomer shooter, and you get more guns every time you add a weapon. So it's just a
Amazing.
screen full of guns. So come out, freaks! If it's gonna be anything like the first episode or the first stream, it's gonna be a sweaty one. So come and join me there. If you want to follow on socials, the Dumpster Boy everywhere, and follow me on Twitch. I'm working towards affiliate status, so come follow me there to help me achieve my dreams of being an amateur piece of shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Kayla, last but certainly not least, what you got going on? Where can people find you?
Check us out at JK Games Podcast on all platforms. We go live on Monday evenings, and we've got Clickerbait coming up soon that we had a lovely announcement from Jerica, my better half, on the top of the episode, and Patrick is joining us for that in March.
Hell yeah. Clickerbait, master, whatever. Anything can happen here on the Drop In Dropout network. I am JakeTwitchin on all platforms. You can find me at amazingstreamer.com. I bought that URL to make it easy for you around the internet. I'm going to be playing a lot more Split Fiction, full playthrough coming up with my homie. Continuing our playthrough. I'm going to beat Avowed tonight, probably after this show. So we'll find the mod. Yep, I'm deep. I stuck with it, which I really love. Which is cool. Check out Wanderstop next week. I'm always playing everything and nothing. Very, very cool times. We are gonna roll those sweet end credits. I'm gonna raid you over to someone that's playing Monster Hunter. Right? What's the fucking new one called? All
Wilds.
Wilds. That's the one.
Yeah.
You guys will love it. You'll have a good time. You will enjoy yourselves. And I appreciate everybody listening and watching. Now wave to the camera.
Bye.